teams are trash.
You're listening to Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan. Here's C-Dot.
Let's do this. Another day, another dollar, another edition of The Drive. You are listening to The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, 96.5thefan.com, and also the Odyssey app. My name is Carrington Harrison. Excited to be here with you on this fantastic Friday, and we have a lot to get into. The Chiefs have their first official day of training camp. Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid are going to meet with the media coming up at 3 o'clock. We'll play the best of. Press conferences never sound good on the radio, and I'm guessing that the Chiefs are going to take it one step at a time, and they're going to do everything they can to prepare for the challenge of trying to get back to the postseason. So if it comes to you from the press conference, we certainly will get to it, we'll react to it, but I don't really have much of an interest in our very limited time today to be playing press conference audio to you guys. What we are going to do is we're going to take certain trips around the Chiefs kingdom today and catch up with some of my favorite Chiefs content creators and get their thoughts as we head into Chiefs training camp. We are going to talk about LeBron James. I know you hate talking about the NBA and you're tired of LeBron, but one of the three greatest players in NBA history made what he said is his final free agent decision and joined by far and away, which is the most interesting basketball decision that he could have made. We are going to talk about LeBron James today. We're going to talk a little college football. We're going to have some fun. We got a lot to get into in today's show. Filling in for my guy Rob, who is finishing up all of his house stuff, is Jason High. He is here with us on this Friday. We are going to start with Chiefs. We are going to start with training camp. We'll do so after I remind you guys of a couple of things. Number one, I need you listening to The Drive each day at 2 o'clock right here on 96.5 The Fan. Number two, I need you to tell one friend to check out the show. And number three, and most importantly, I need you to remember that the open of the show each and every day is brought to you by our friends over at The Other Place. If you want to stop in this weekend, maybe catch a little baseball, maybe you want to watch some LeBron highlights, I'll try to see if they can put some on the television for you. So while you're eating a fantastic meal, you can get to see the legendary career that LeBron has had now in multiple locations. Whatever you are into, make sure you go see our friends over at The Other Place and get right for the weekend. This is how I would like to begin today's show. Now, I imagine that there are other shows that would fit this criteria, but the show that best fits this analogy to me is Law & Order SVU. Now, you guys know I've been talking about this for a while. I would say that Law & Order SVU is my favorite show. It's a little bit different than The Sopranos. It's different than The Wire. I don't watch those shows nearly as much as I watch Law & Order SVU. We're talking about a show that has been going on now for 26 years with 500 plus episodes. My relationship with Law & Order SVU is different than the relationship that I have with other shows. Well, for a show that has gone on for as long as Law & Order SVU, they have changed a lot of the main characters. When I started watching, the show was about Benson and Stabler, and then Stabler went to go do movies, so they replaced them, and they've had characters that I like, characters they didn't like, but there has always been a constant. It doesn't matter what episode of Law & Order that you turn on, you are going to get Olivia Benson and Finn Tutuola. They're comfortable, they're familiar, and you know that the formula is always going to be the same, even if the characters of the show are different. What I've noticed in our conversation about the Kansas City Chiefs this week is you guys see the Chiefs like Law & Order. As long as Dick Wolf is still the executive producer of the show, as long as they still have Olivia Benson and they have Finn, you can figure out all the rest of the characters because the heart and soul of that team is still there. If you look at the Chiefs still being picked to win the AFC West, still being looked at and viewed as one of the top teams in the AFC Super Bowl picture, this is a belief that even though some of the main parts around the Chiefs have radically changed through the years, they started this process with Frank Clark. They won championships with Tyrann Mathieu. They won championships with Tyreek Hill. They've won championships with Mike Pennell. They have won with a lot of surrounding parts. But the core of this team is still the same, and the hope amongst Chiefs Kingdom is that the formula is going to remain the same. We got Brett Veach, we got Clark Hunt, we got Andy Reid, we got Patrick Mahomes, we got Travis Kelce, Chris Jones, etc. And that foundation is going to be enough where we'll figure out everything else. They have a lot of question marks coming into this season, and not question marks in a negative connotation, but just a great deal of uncertainty. Let's remove the wide receiver conversation because we know all of those guys, and whether it's through you being suspended or a freak injury or whatever happened, those guys yet haven't put the resume together to really sink your teeth into it. But you talk about this pass rush, and we spent a lot of time this week discussing it. You just got a lot of guys that haven't played a lot of football in the National Football League. That cornerback room is the exact same way. But the confidence and trust level that Chiefs Kingdom has and how it has been communicated to me is we have the right executive producer, we got the right showrunner, we've got the main character of the show. We will figure out all of those other characters over time, but the heart and soul of what drives this thing, why I tune in every week to continue to watch this show, and why I follow the story is still there. I still firmly believe that the Kansas City Chiefs have the best quarterback in the National Football League. They have the most accomplished coach in the National Football League. The NFL hasn't changed that much. It is still a continuity game. It is still a foundational game. And when you have a general manager with the track record that Kansas City has, a head coach that has been doing it now for 20 plus years, almost longer than Law and Order SVU, and you've got one of the 5 greatest quarterbacks in the history of the National Football League, that will go a long way in easing your fears about how good the Chiefs can be this season and if they can navigate themselves back towards the top of the AFC West conversation, and are they a true Super Bowl contending team? So that's one part of the open that I want to get to. I do want to talk about LeBron James. I'm very surprised that this is the decision. Early on in this process, I talked to you guys about I thought there were 3 doors that were available to LeBron. I thought there was the vanity play of going back to Cleveland, going back to Miami, and everything that happens is about you. It is your final stop. It is the end of your career. You are going home, or you are reuniting with the team that gave you great success. And I don't think anybody would have faulted those options. There was another option to go team up with Steph Curry, and just seeing the 2 most accomplished players of their era team up together and see if they could win one old guy ring, the Expendables route. But then there was a championship path. Whether that was going to play for the San Antonio Spurs, there was some conversation about him potentially going to Minnesota. I don't know how realistic that was. And Philadelphia was a name that kept popping up and continued to linger around as a possible destination for LeBron. LeBron has now made his decision. He is going to play for the Philadelphia 76ers. From a basketball standpoint, LeBron made the right decision. We can talk about all of the other things, but if you are looking at their starting 5 top to bottom, I believe that the Philadelphia 76ers have the best starting 5 in the NBA right now. If you look at what they have at point guard with Tyrese Maxey and VJ Edgecombe, they make the trade to go get Jaylen Brown, who was a top 5 player in the NBA last season. They have LeBron that, despite being 42 years old, can still be a 20 and 10 and 6 assist guy on any given night, can still play multiple positions, can still ratchet it up when necessary and when needed to. And you got one of the most skilled bigs in the NBA when he's healthy. When Philadelphia is right and when they have all of their pieces, in my opinion, they have the best starting 5 in the NBA. There was only one team that we were discussing that was going to give LeBron a chance to win a championship. I thought he was going to Cleveland. I thought it was most important for LeBron to have that farewell tour, to go home to the city that loves you, that will wrap their arms around you, that don't care about the wins and losses. They just want to come out and see their hero, and they want to see their king. Miami was going to be very, very similar in that same objective. There was only one city, only one team that was going to give LeBron a chance to win a championship and could turn around and say to LeBron, we don't know if we're championship roster now, but if you join this team, then we can be in a true title contending sense. The Knicks are the best team in the Eastern Conference until proven otherwise. It is clear now over the last 30 days who their biggest contender is. It is the Philadelphia 76ers with all of the moves that they've made. So that's from a basketball perspective. I think they have a little bit of everything. They got 5 guys that can go get you 20 if you need to. You've got great point guard play. You got youth. You got athleticism. You got guys that can space the floor. You got guys that can knock down shots. You got one of the best bigs in the NBA. You got one of the better power forwards now in the NBA with LeBron. From a basketball standpoint, to me, a lot of it just fits. Now, from the other side of it, LeBron released a statement today. And in this statement, he communicated that he was seriously considering retire. Here was the statement. Quote, "I thought I was done when the season ended. I wasn't ready to announce it, and I knew I needed some time to really decide. But I was pretty sure that I'd played my last game. I was honest at my last press conference when I said I needed to look at myself and decide if I still love this game. I do. I still truly love this game, and I have a lot more to give." He then continues on. I don't have to read the entire thing. LeBron, I don't believe you. If LeBron had played the last couple of days and weeks low-key and played it in the back and wasn't doing post-game press conferences and wasn't doing podcasts and wasn't dropping innuendo and all of this reporting, if it was zero coverage on LeBron and you pop out with this, I would believe you. I could buy into that. Hey, you were really struggling with this. You didn't really strike me the last 3 weeks as a man that was struggling on whether or not he was going to play. When I saw your agent do a podcast and he had 9 teams written on the board and how many of these teams are a possible fit, I didn't really get a sense that you had decided that you weren't going to play basketball this upcoming season. So I'm not mad at you for trying to win a championship. I'm mad at you for the last 24 days from when it took you to make a decision. You validated 2 feelings that people have about you, that you are an attention seeker. A lot of the moves it felt like you've made over the last 3 weeks have been to get as much attention and as much commentary as possible. And just strangely enough, you waited until the World Cup was over when there's nothing else going on in a national landscape to then soak up all the headlines and get all of the attention. And this is a team hopping kind of move. This is a bandwagon kind of move. Now, I do think that we create double standards for athletes. We tell athletes how you got to go win a championship. You got to win rings. And then they win rings. And then we tell them, no, not in that way. We want you to win a ring in a different way. So I can't be mad at an athlete if we tell them all that matters is if you win the championship. We don't care about anything else. They make a move that puts them in the best situation to do just that. And then we crush them and penalize them for doing that. But LeBron, you could have joined any team and I'd have been cool with it. You joined that team because they got Jaylen Brown? Your agent has said you weren't even considering going to play for the Philadelphia 76ers. If you have thought that LeBron wants to stack the deck in his favor to give himself the best possible chance of winning, it's kind of hard to tell you that this isn't it. I think LeBron went through it, and in the end, he had 2 choices. I can go and be an attraction. I can be an attraction. Come see me in Cleveland for the last time. You can go in there. Those fans will never boo you. You are the one that got them a championship, and you have decided to close out your career here. It was going to be special if you decided to do that. Or you could try to see for 1, maybe 2 more times if you have a chance at winning an NBA championship. And you decided to try to win an NBA championship. I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it largely because it makes the Sixers by far and away the most interesting team heading into next basketball season. I want to see how this goes. I want to see what it looks like when they go to Boston and Jaylen Brown goes up against the Celtics. I want to see what it looks like when LeBron on the Sixers goes to Madison Square Garden to take on the New York Knicks, who are the defending champion. I'm curious who gets the Christmas Day game. LeBron going to the Philadelphia 76ers is by far and away the most interesting basketball thing that he can do. Now, KU fans, I don't want you to hear this and hate. Joel Embiid, it's time, my boy. It's time. You got LeBron, Jaylen Brown, Tyrese Maxey, and VJ Edgecombe on your team, and you've never made it to the conference finals. And we all know that your body is being held together by duct tape, hope, and a prayer. Joel Embiid, you need to be healthy. You need to be a positive contributor this year. You need to play some of the best basketball of your life. And if you can do that, I think the Philadelphia 76ers got a really strong chance at going to the NBA championship. Coming up on the other side, we are going to be joined by some of my favorite Chiefs content creators to get a preview of training camp. Marcus Dash from Chiefs Concerns is going to join us next, and we take our first look as we head into training camp. That's all coming up. Keep it right here, so Drive.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison, the go-to show for dating advice you didn't ask for.
If you got to ask your girl to help on the bill on Valentine's Day, you've done something wrong.
On your home for Kansas City sports, 96.5 The Fan.
America is turning 250 this year, and Circus Sports is celebrating by offering all users in Missouri $250. Dane Hughes here, and for everyone in Missouri, all you have to do is deposit $250 on your Circus Sports app. Then play through that deposit. Once you do, Circus Sports will reward you with $250 right in your account. This is available for everyone in Missouri, new and existing users. Celebrate 250 years and find out more at circusports.com today. Must be 21 or older in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hi, I'm Mitch Holtis, voice of the Chiefs. Be a part of history by attending Chiefs training camp in St. Joseph, Missouri this summer. See the Chiefs and make a St. Joe memory. Whether it's touring one of the many museums, staying in a historic home turned bed and breakfast, experiencing quality dining or brewery options, hitting the River Bluff bike trails, or supporting a vibrant art scene, St. Joseph has something for everyone. Go to stjomo.com to view or download a free visitor guide and plan your trip. Produced in cooperation with Visit Missouri.
Men, when addressing the problem of erectile dysfunction, you want the right treatment for your specific medical situation because every case is different, and finding the right treatment can mean the difference between just an okay experience and an amazing one. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and at our practices, we offer the full range of ED treatment protocols and can even combine therapies to help make those intimate moments special both for you and your partner. At Heartland Men's Health, we take great pride in providing excellent care and treatment options for ED. Our medical providers specialize in men's sexual health and understand that no two cases are alike, which means you'll get the right treatment for you based on sound medical evaluation and appropriate applications of medical therapies. Plus, we offer treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, which means if you're like most men, you'll get your sex life back. So call us. Your initial visit is just $99. It includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices: Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City.
Hey, it's Rex here with Rex Buys KC. I get it. Selling your house can sometimes feel overwhelming or scary, right? I've seen it too many times. A homeowner thought they had a deal, only to have the buyer back out at the last minute. That's not how we do business at Rex Buys KC. I'm local, I know Kansas City, and I make sure every deal actually closes like it's supposed to. No hidden fees, no showings, no last-minute surprises, just a fair cash offer and a process you can count on. We buy homes in any condition and judgment-free. So whether your house needs repairs or you just want a fast, hassle-free sale, we can make it happen. If you want certainty, transparency, and someone local who actually delivers, call 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com. Rex Buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time. 816-330-6000 or rexbuyskc.com.
When shopping for a new auto insurance policy, AAA could help you customize your coverage to fit your unique needs and budget. Trust AAA Auto Insurance to help you find the balance that works for you. See how a simple switch could make a big difference. AAA, we're always with you. Visit AAA.com/insurance. Insurance provided to qualified AAA members by Automobile Club Inter-Insurance Exchange and AAA affiliate insurers. Membership requires a separate payment.
Is reviewing life insurance on your to-do list? Now's the perfect time to add it. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I bumped this up on my list and got it done. I called SelectQuote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $16 a month. My husband's also 40 and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. Plus, Plus, with SelectQuote same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Knowing I have this checked off my list feels amazing, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-329-1010. That's 1-800-329-1010. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. That's 1-800-329-1010. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
Every week on the Moth Podcast, you'll hear true stories that will intrigue you, inspire you, and make you laugh.
He said, is there anything in your diet that might be spiking your blood sugar? I said, sometimes I eat pizza until I'm unconscious. He said, I think that might be it.
For real stories live on stage from comedians, astronauts, accountants, farmers, and people just like you, follow and listen to The Moth wherever you get your podcasts.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this. This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
All right, welcome back into the show. Today, we are going to highlight some of my favorite Chiefs content creators as we are getting you ready for the start of training camp. The rookies and the quarterbacks report today. Today is the unofficial start of the Chiefs 2026 campaign. Let's head to the phone lines right now to be joined by the co-host of the Chiefs Concern podcast. Marcus Dash joins us on the show today. Marcus, how you doing, my man?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. You know, obviously, other than the Chiefs, but my Sixers just got LeBron James, so I'm pretty excited, man. Pretty excited.
No, today's a great time to be you. It certainly is. Let's just get your thoughts on LeBron. The point that I made before you came on, this was the open of the show, that there were two paths. LeBron could have chose the Kobe Bryant farewell tour. No one would have faulted him for that, but there was only one team that was going to give him a chance to try to win a championship this year, and that's the team that he joined.
No, I agree, man. And honestly, I make the joke, but I'm kind of serious. I think Brad Stevens, if the Sixers win it this year, I think Brad Stevens deserves Executive of the Year because, you know, without him refusing to trade Hugo Gonzalez and Baylor Shireman, which ultimately created the butterfly effect that led Giannis to Miami and Jaylen Brown to Philly, LeBron would not be signing in Philadelphia. So, all kudos goes to Brad Stevens, man.
Right now, we're talking to Marcus Dash. He is the co-host of the Chiefs Concerns podcast. We'll learn a little bit more about his podcast coming up in a bit. But, Marcus, you cover the Chiefs every single day. As we are heading into training camp, what is the thing that you are keeping your eye on the most?
Man, there's a few things, but I would say the defensive line upgrades are the kind of the big key for me this past year. You know, going from, you know, I love Mike Pennell brought to us. But going from Mike Pennell, Derek Nottie, Mike Dana, to all these guys to bring in Peter Woods, Tonga, and then going to get Mason Thomas, I think the defensive line is probably the biggest thing I'm looking at going into this upcoming training camp. But Mason Thomas, everyone keeps talking about Peter Woods and everybody else, but Mason Thomas is kind of going under the radar. I know he was our second-round pick, but he's kind of going on the radar when we talk about our rookies as far as some of these other content creators. But, I know he's not a prototypical Spags guy, but we didn't really do much in the edge rush spot. And, there's a lot on him going into this year, and I don't know how much playing time he's going to get. Obviously, I hope he will get a lot of playing time, but he's a guy that I think could be a sneaky big for us this season and get more playing time than many people expect.
That's where my biggest concern is with this team. If something happens to George Karlaftis, and knock on wood, but we just saw with the Carolina Panthers, day one of training camp, they lose their second-round pick pass rusher who had 5 sacks last year and looks like he was ready to take a big step. I really struggle when there isn't a lot of proven production because it's all projection at that point. It's all speculation. But you and I both cover the league. Some guys are going to work out. Some guys are not going to work out. Some guys are going to hit. Some guys are going to bust. That's the nature of the game. Once you get past George Karlaftis, you just got a bunch of uncertainty. Aston Gelati, FAU, Omar Norman-Lott, their defensive line, it could be promising and some guys could have some good years, but going into it, it's just hard to know what production you can count on heading into the season.
Yeah, no, 100%. It's a lot of potential within that group. Gelati, second year. Even he said himself, he didn't think he played the best, but again, it's an adjustment period. But yeah, I mean, honestly, like FAU, and I know like he's been, he hasn't really lived up to his potential yet. Last year he was out the whole season with the hamstring, but even before that he hadn't really shown anything. I mean, we have a bunch of guys who can rotate that next spot, and yeah, you're right. If Carl Evans gets hurt, we're in trouble as far as the edge rush. But if he can stay healthy and you can kind of rotate into that other edge spot, and who knows, man, we have enough defensive tackles now where you can probably even put Chris Jones more on the outside if you want to, because you have O&L back, you have Peter Woods, Tonga. There's a lot of guys in that defensive tackle spot where you can, in theory, put Chris Jones more on the edge if you want to, and Peter Woods can play on the edge as well. But, yeah, I mean, you're right. We are very thin at that spot, which is why I'm saying, like, they might be putting a lot more on R. Mason Thomas' shoulders than we can actually think as of right now. But you're right. And it's also a huge year for FAU to finally show why he was taken where he was taken because, I mean, like, we've been waiting. I mean, it's a big draft asset, man. First-round pick, and to not really give us anything at that spot's it's kind of hurt us in the edge rush department.
Right now, we're talking to Marcus Dash. He is the co-host for the Chiefs Concern podcast. We're highlighting some of my favorite Chiefs content creators as we are getting ready for Chiefs training camp. It's interesting because the message that I think the Chiefs communicated this offseason, on offense, it felt like they put a lot of the responsibility on the lack of a run game last year and just changing the offensive voice, going from Matt Nagy to now going to Eric Bieniemy. On the defensive side, it's almost a complete talent overhaul. You and I are talking about the D-line. Their cornerback room is virtually different than where it was last year. There's two kind of different philosophies here where on offense, they think it was much more of a control the line of scrimmage and coaching problem. They see the defensive problems as different from last year.
Yeah, no, you're right. If you look at it, like, and I think one of the first pressers that Andy did after the season was over was he talked about how if you look at our team, going into a Thanksgiving, or after Thanksgiving, we were one of the highest, we had advanced metrics. Our offense was great going into the Thanksgiving. And it's funny because it's like, and it's true in many ways. You work at offense. We didn't really have much of a run game, but yeah, we were there in a lot of the passing metrics. But yeah, on this past couple weeks ago, we had Trey Watson on our show, Chiefs tight end on, and I asked him. I mean, he never played with EB before, so this is his first year with EB. And I asked him, just based on camp so far, or mandatory minicamp, what's the biggest difference you've noticed from Nagy to EB? And the thing he said was attention to detail, right? And it kind of goes back to what you said. It's like, yeah, they feel like the offensive voices, the positional coaches, that was a big change there. Not really much as far as bringing in new talent outside of Kenneth Walker, but pretty much receivers are the same, tight ends are the same. It's just new OC, new receivers coach, new running backs coach, and Kenneth Walker. So, like, yeah, it is interesting that they feel like they're good on offense, just needed attention to detail, which I also found funny. There's a clip that I saw from the Giants training camp where Matt Nagy talks about how he's a psycho when it comes to details. And I'm not trying to dog Nagy, but I just find it funny where you're hearing a lot of this, like, oh yeah, like EB's back, we're paying attention to details, which is like, huh. So you guys weren't doing that before? I mean, you think that would be something you'd be paying attention to. But yeah, I just find it funny that that is the kind of thing that everyone's kind of pointing to, is just attention to detail and just different voice in the locker room, which, can pay dividends, I think.
I mean, what you were describing when it comes to Eric Bieniemy is why I wasn't the biggest fan of the hire. Every description of Eric Bieniemy just makes him sound like a super hall monitor. Like, no one is touting his ability to understand scheme. It's just he's going to hold guys accountable. That's what turned me off about the coaching search and why I wanted them to try to go find the next Andy Reid, the next Ben Johnson. Like, I look at their hires and I wonder if Andy Reid in 2026 would hire 1999 Andy Reid. I actually don't think he would.
Yeah, that's a good point. I really thought about it like that, and he would hire himself, like an unproven guy. Because, yeah, I mean, I would say if you look at the new hires offensively, right, Chad O'Shea has a, big time history, right? He was with the Al Saunders Chiefs back in the day. My co-host, Jason Dunn, that was on his team, so he saw him when he kind of broke through in the NFL. Then he goes to New England, becomes their receivers coach there forever, made a lot of names out of, like, no-name guys. And then, yeah, now he comes here. So we have an established receiver voice. Bieniemy, obviously established coach, right? ROC, great running backs coach in Minnesota and with Chicago. But then, you look at the running backs with DeMarco Murray. Well, I mean, he was a great running back in the NFL. I mean, he's kind of a young face, a young guy. But you're right. I that is interesting. That I don't know if he would hire a young Andy Reid, an unproven guy. But I will say this, like people will say a lot of things about Tyler Embry, the receivers coach that we had, but like he was an unproven guy. I mean, that didn't work out, right? And then they go the total opposite. They go with a veteran guy in Chad O'Shea. So like, it does seem like they kind of dabbled with like the up and coming guy, as far as positional coach, but they end up going back with like a veteran voice like Chad O'Shea, and then a veteran voice in the OC room with EB. And the whole monster thing, I see that, like, right, like he's gonna yell at the guys, he's gonna keep the guys in line, like a Major Payne kind of situation. But like the running back room, he was an awesome running back in the day. That's where he made his bread as a coach, as being AP's coach at running back. And with Chicago last year, I mean, like when you spend all that money on K9, you bring in a new running backs coach who was a great NFL coach or a great NFL running back in DeMarco Murray, and you have EB. It seems like maybe that is where they want to go towards, more of a ground and pound. And that's also something that Trey Watson alluded to, was more 13 personnel and more of a ground and pound smash mouth football approach. And maybe I don't know if it's going to be a this year thing because Mahomes coming off the ACL injury, but it seems like there is going to be more of a balanced attack, which we have not had in like the Andy Reid era since like maybe 2018 when Kareem Hunt was in his prime.
Absolutely, and that's where I feel the most confident about this team heading into the season. A point that I've made over the last couple of years is that the Chiefs were asking their quarterback to do something that no other team in the league was asking their quarterback to do. Think of any good team in the league. Buffalo has James Cook. Jalen Hurts has Saquon Barkley. Good teams are now running the football effectively and investing in the running back position. I think you are going to see such a notable difference from the Chiefs offense that now they're not fighting with one arm tied behind their back, and you just got a running back that you can trust on 2nd and 5 to can get you a 12, 13-yard carry. They haven't had that the last couple of seasons.
No, man. I mean, the only thing, because if you look at the history with Andy, right, we went from Kareem, well, obviously in the Mahomes era I'm talking about, Kareem, and he gets suspended late in that season, and they gets kicked off the team. And then you go with Damian Williams, Darrell Williams, CEH. I mean, we even had and even with those guys, like CEH, his first round pick, there's a couple games that he was like a bell cow. But even in that time period, forget about having a dude. It was all a committee. And I know people are saying, well, Kenneth Walker's got durability issues. You have to use Emmett Johnson and DeMarcado. But I don't think they pay this guy that money to be a part of a committee and have him not utilize him fully. I'd be very upset if he's not getting 15 to 20 touches a game, be it carries and catches. I mean, I think they paid him to kind of be more of a bell cow kind of guy, and I think people just think because of his durability issues, they're not going to utilize him in that, and that's partially the reason why he signed in Kansas City is because his utilization, it was lacking in Seattle, and he wanted to come to a place where he was going to be utilized in as more of a bell cow, and we just haven't had a bell cow guy in Kansas City during the Mahomes era. And I feel like you said, he finally has somebody he can hand the ball to, or even throw a screen pass to that can take it 88 out the gate. We just haven't had that. It's been all on 15's shoulders, and finally, he can finally let loose a little bit.
I'll get you out of here with this last question. Heading into the season, who do you see as the best team in the AFC?
I mean, I think the AFC is pretty wide open. The NFC, we can easily say Rams. AFC, I would say Kansas City, man. I really do think the running game, and it's not me being a homer. I know a lot of fans will comment on our channel, say JD and I are homers. But I think the running game, because if you look at all the games we lost last year, obviously after Mahomes got injured, that's, you can't really look at that. But the games where Mahomes was there, we lost I think we had one game we lost by 2 possessions. Every game was close, man, and we didn't have a running game. We had no semblance of any kind of threat in the ground. Yeah, Kareem was great at getting us the 3rd and 2s and 3rd and 1s, but we just had nobody who could give us any kind of threat out of the backfield. And you finally have that, so we're going to see defenses play us very different than what we've seen in the last few years, and I think that's just something that we can't really account for yet. And I think that is going to be a team that, and right now I think Jason McIntyre, big-time Chiefs fan on the Colin Cowherd show, said we're underrated right now. And I do think people and the experts are underrating us. So, yeah, I would say us, and then I would say Buffalo. But, yeah, I would say us. I don't think there's a close team behind us because I think Buffalo's dealing with their new coaching staff changes. Baltimore's dealing with their new coaching staff changes. New England has new coaching staff changes, but they have some stuff over there with their coaching staff. So I think Kansas City has a different type of vibe going into the season, and that's that ground attack that Trey Watson was alluding to.
I don't know if you're a homer or not, and JD is my guy. He is absolutely a homer. You could tell him Carrington said that. He absolutely is a homer. Marcus, I'll let you get out of here with this. I want people to learn more about your podcast. How can they listen to the Chiefs Concern podcast?
Yeah, Chief Concerns, guys. Myself and former Chiefs tight end Jason Dunn. We get a lot of players coming on, former and current Chiefs players coming on. You can find us on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere you get your podcasts. We do 4 lives during the season a week. We have constant on there daily, but 4 lives during the week. Post game show, Wednesday, midweek show, Monday, and Friday nights. Monday, JD does his grades where he grades each position group during the season, and Friday is our dual betting show, as well as JD's pep talk to the team. So people really like when JD goes into the whiteboard and puts on his coaching hat for before every game during the season. But yeah, so looking forward to seeing anybody who comes on the Chief Concerns channel.
Marcus, great day for you. LeBron is going to the 76ers, and the Chiefs start training camp today, man. Happy to have you on. Go download the Chiefs Concern podcast. Marcus, man, appreciate your time.
Appreciate you, buddy.
Absolutely. That is Marcus Dash joining us on the show today. We are highlighting some of my favorite Chiefs content creators as we are getting ready for Chiefs training camp. Have you guys seen the official ratings for the FIFA World Cup? So the television ratings, the whole tournament is done. Kansas City is number 1. Kansas City got a 4.89 share, which is a massive, massive number. Second place was 391. To put this into more context, there is a bigger gap between Kansas City and second place than there is between Boston, which is in second place, and Los Angeles, which is in 15th place. Kansas City was by far and away the most popular market for the World Cup. Now, I don't know what that means for the Men's World Cup. It will come around again. I don't know when. Maybe in 12 years, maybe in 16 years, the United States will get the World Cup again. It took 30 years. But if they're talking about expanding it to the level of which they're talking about, there are not many countries that can accommodate a 64-team, 48-team soccer tournament with football stadiums all around the country, kind of like the United States. So you would think that they have to be very high on the list in order for that conversation. But it is a foregone conclusion. How can you look at the Men's World Cup numbers and see what Kansas City is doing with the Kansas City Current and how at the forefront they are with women's soccer and not think that Kansas City is going to get the Women's World Cup in a couple of years? How can you think otherwise? You're telling me that if it's the exact same tournament, same number of teams, is going to be in the United States, are going to be playing in football stadiums, they're playing somewhere in Kansas City. I don't know if that's the Current stadium. I don't know if that's at New Arrowhead. I don't know if it's at Old Arrowhead, but I feel very confident in saying the next World Cup that we have, whether it's men's or women's, I don't know how you can see how Kansas City embraced the tournament, how Kansas City supported the tournament, went to Fan Fest, went out, bought tickets, bought merchandise, I don't know how you see all of that and leave them out of the next round. 4.89. Think about some of the cities that are around this country. Seattle, for example. Seattle got multiple United States games. Seattle, great soccer environment. They were 11th. They were 11th in their television viewing when it came to this. There is not a city that embraces international soccer more than Kansas City. There is not a one. I can't speak for MLS and soccer capital. I don't keep up with it enough. But we just had a 6-week case study of what market will support the United States soccer team and a soccer tournament, and it was a unanimous decision that the answer was the Kansas City metropolitan area. We are going to continue our conversations with Chiefs content creators. We are getting you ready for the start of Chiefs training camp. Keep it right here. It's The Drive on 96.5 The Fan.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
Hey, baseball fans, got a feeling about who's hitting a home run today? Don't just sit on it. FanDuel wants you to call your shot with Daily Dingers. All you have to do is make your pick on who's hitting a home run, and if you're right, you'll get a profit boost to use on your next bet for a shot at bigger winnings. So now when your favorite slugger hits that walk-off, you'll feel like a winner too. Daily Dingers on FanDuel is free to play, and you can lock in a pick every day of the MLB season. That's why FanDuel is the home for home runs. So are you ready to play your game? Check out Daily Dingers at FanDuel.com/local. That's FanDuel.com/local to make your free pick on who's hitting a homer today. Big hits can mean bigger winnings on FanDuel, an official partner of the MLB and 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Missouri. No purchase necessary. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Honey, did you invite the minions over?
Well, you know how we talked about getting Wi-Fi from Xfinity?
Yeah.
I ordered it this morning, was online in minutes, then they showed up.
So they just came over to use the Wi-Fi?
They even brought their own devices and spell book.
You didn't give them the new Wi-Fi password, right?
No.
That's good.
I gave them our old one. Because Xfinity lets us keep the same network name and password so devices connect instantly.
What do they want Wi-Fi for anyways?
Better not to know. Plausible deniability.
Get streaming or scheming instantly with same-day Wi-Fi from Xfinity. Plus, lock in one price for the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi for 5 years. Guaranteed. And see Minions and Monsters only in theaters. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Use of fiber coaxial cable. Learn more at xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 80% water, right? It doesn't clean as well.
80% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure, concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Oh, let me make an announcement.
Attention shoppers, if you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Stop paying for watered-down detergents. Pay for clean. If it's gotta be clean, it's gotta be Tide Pods. Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight illnesses like pneumococcal pneumonia and RSV. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and can help protect you from getting really sick. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. See more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Did you hear? Allstate car insurance now costs even less. So when you bundle with home, you can save even more. Check Allstate first to bundle and save with a new lower auto rate. You're in good hands with Allstate. Not available in every state. Only applicable for new auto insurance business. Rates will vary by several factors, including how you purchase the policy. Potential savings may vary. Allstate North American Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Go to 965thefan.com for your chance to win Kansas City Chiefs scratch tickets, plus a chance for the grand prize Chiefs bundle, which includes a framed jersey and a signed photo. All thanks to our friends at the Kansas Lottery.
This afternoon, expect showers, thunderstorms with a high of 77.
Weather brought to you by Capital One. Capital One offers no fees or minimums on checking accounts. What's in your wallet? Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank guide. Capital One NA, member FDIC.
Hey, it's George Karlaftis from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome to The Drive with CDOT on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Today we are highlighting some of my favorite Chiefs content creators as we are getting you ready for Chiefs training camp, which starts today. Let's head to the phone lines right now to be joined by one of the co-hosts of the Kingdom Cast podcast. Charles Penn joins us on the show today. Charles, happy LeBron Day.
I knew he was going to open with that. Hey, appreciate you having me on, C-Dot.
Absolutely, man. So happy to have you on. Happy to learn more about you guys' podcast. Let me start with this question. On a scale from 1 to 10, how confident are you in the Chiefs wide receiver room as we are heading into the season?
I say give it about a 7. I know they're bringing in 13 guys to see who can fill out maybe 1 or 2 spots remaining on the roster, but I think we look at it, they pretty much set with like the first 5 that's going to be on there for the most part. It's just a matter of seeing, I guess, maybe one play special teams, the other, I guess, break glass in case of emergency type of deal with that. So we know who the pecking order is for the top 3 for sure with Rashid, Xavier, and Taekwon. We know that for sure.
Yeah, in my opinion, their wide receiver room kind of comes down to, can one of those wide receivers be the number 1 option? For the last 3 seasons, we've been having the same conversation. Well, you want Kelsey to fall back into the fall back a little bit, and you want one of those guys to emerge. I just find it hard to believe that this offense can hit its ceiling if its number 1 pass catcher is 37 years old. You need one of the 24 to 26-year-old guys to really step up and have a 1,000-yard season and 1,100-yard season. I think Rice is capable of that, but you got to stay out of trouble, and you got to also be able to stay on the field.
Yeah, that's been the unfortunate part in the past few years because I really think the Chiefs were trying to cut the workload of Travis Kelce these past few years. But, injuries have happened, and then, like you just mentioned, off-the-field stuff has happened, too, within the room on offense. So, hopefully we will finally be able to take a little bit out of Travis Kelce's play just to make sure he gets across the finish line. And, hopefully this team be back in the playoffs, and we'll have them ready to go in.
Let me ask you this. Who do you think is more likely to have a career year? Do you think it's Xavier Worthy or George Karlaftis?
That's a great question. If I had to lean one way, it's probably Xavier Worthy because I think a lot of people have written him off. And I've been saying this, even though some Chiefs fans don't believe in the talent in the wide receiver room exactly. But I think with the proper coaching this time, I think with a better wide receiver coach, and then you got Eric Bieniemy back in the building, I believe Xavier Worthy will get back on the right path to, improving his game a little more. I know people have been criticizing, like, his awareness on the field. Some people question his route running. I don't think it's that much of an issue. I think at the end of the day, Xavier just needs the proper coaching, and we got to see it play out. But I think Xavier's going to do good things in his offense this year.
Right now, we're talking to Charles Penn. He is with the Kingdom Cast podcast. We're having some of my favorite Chiefs content creators on to get you ready for the start of training camp. I'm one of those people who have written Xavier Worthy off. I'm not ready to throw the B word out there for him, but heading into year 3, I struggle to really find what he does exceptionally well. He was really fast at the combine, but he hasn't really been a burner in a deep field, down the field threat. He's not a great route runner. You mentioned some of the other deficiencies with him. I think he can have a decent year, but if we're talking about at year 3, he has 700 yards receiving, that's not a guy that was worthy of you trading up for and being a first-round pick.
And that's fair. But at the end of the day, like I mentioned earlier in the show, the past few years, we've been trying to find somebody to take a little bit off of Travis Kelce's plate because he was getting older. We got that Rashid, but like we said earlier, the off the field stuff. I just feel like Xavier just got something to prove here. And, if things don't work out to where he improves, beyond the 700-yard mark that he's had, then, yeah, you're right. It could be an issue. But, like, when you look at George Karlaftis, I just don't think he's a guy that's, like, an actual number 1 on your defensive edge room. Like, I feel like he's a number 2 guy, like a complimentary piece to another guy that's, like, a star. You know what I'm saying? So, we'll see what happens, man. We'll see how it all plays out this year.
What do you think the biggest question mark for the team is heading into the season?
I think the linebacker room, honestly, like people who talk about the wide receiver room and the edges and stuff, but the linebacker room, that's the room that really stands out to me as pretty treacherous. Like besides Nick Bolton, like what do you really have there? Drew Tranquil, he's older. I don't know. I'm sure he has a smart mind, but I think like his body is not gonna cooperate with his mind because. We go back to it. I think me and Country brought this up yesterday on Kingdom Cast. It goes back to when he mentioned Ben Neiman. Ben Neiman, he's a smart guy on the field and stuff, but his ability doesn't match his mind. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's kind of reaching that point with Drew Tranquil. And then you got Jeffrey Bassa. Bassa is a guy that many I'm looking forward to get more playing time out on the field, but we don't know what we're going to have with him just yet. I know he played safety in college. He played linebacker in college, but he's still kind of in transition, And then you got these other guys. You got Cole Christensen, you got Jack Cochran, you got Cooper McDonald. I mean, those guys are mainly known as special teams guys, so it's looking murky in that linebacker room.
I'll get you out of here with these last couple of questions. Right now, we're talking to Charles Penn. He's one of the co-hosts of the Kingdom Cast. We're having some of my favorite Chiefs content creators on for the start of Chiefs training camp. Who do you think is the best team in the AFC heading into the season?
The best team. I'll say this. I know it's not the Bills. It'll probably have to be. I mean, you gotta throw the Patriots in there. They just got this made to the Super Bowl. The Broncos, unfortunately, believe it or not, I mean, they'll probably be a contender too. They'll be in the mix. So, probably, I guess, one of 3 teams. But for right now, it's hard to picture, like, the best team in the AFC. I would love to say the Chiefs right now, but, they're just coming off of missing the playoffs, and they're trying to get back to where they once was before in the past.
Last thing here, tell people how they can keep up with your podcast.
Well, you can catch us on YouTube. You can catch us on Facebook Live. You can catch us any platform, any listening platform, any streaming platform that you can think of.
That is Charles Penn joining us on the show today. He is with Kingdom Cast. Be sure to check it out. Chuck, happy to talk Chiefs with you today, my man.
Appreciate you to see that.
Absolutely. That is Charles Penn joining us on the show today, talking a little Chiefs, getting you ready for the start of the season. We are here. Training camp is here. Today, the Chiefs are in St. Joe. Patrick Mahomes is there. Andy Reid is there. They are about to have a press conference here starting in about 10 minutes, which really means it's starting in about 30 minutes. If they say anything interesting, we will share it with you. We're going to continue to go with the show as normal. Really happy to be here with you guys as we are getting you ready for Chiefs training camp. I do have this question, and maybe I am the only one that cares about this. And you know what? I'm perfectly fine with that. Do you guys think that Andy Reid today would hire young Andy Reid? Like, I asked that question, and I know it's going back a little bit, but I look at who Andy Reid was, and somebody ultimately gave that guy a shot. Andy Reid was an offensive line coach for Missouri, and the next season he was with the Green Bay Packers, and then he worked his way up through the Green Bay Packers organization to be the quarterback coach and then the assistant head coach, and then a team plucked Andy. Andy Reid was never an offensive coordinator in the National Football League and got an opportunity to be a head coach in the league and has obviously had tremendous success since entering the National Football League. I just wonder with the way that they've kind of built their coaching staff, and maybe it goes back to the debates we were having about the offensive line. I wonder if Andy Reid today would hire that version of Andy Reid. I think when you have success, you get really comfortable and you hire people that you know and people that you know you mesh with and people that you know you're going to work well with. I just wonder if Andy today would take a chance like Mike Holmgren took on him when Green Bay was looking to win a championship, and you had this fiery coach with these ideas and came up and really made an impression. I mean, he became a head coach in the National Football League in less than 10 years of being in the league. He was a college coach for a long period of time. He then goes on to the Green Bay Packers. He's there for 6 years. And next thing you know, you're now a head coach in the National Football League. Like, we don't talk about it now because it's been such a long time ago. Andy Reid had a very quick rise to being a head coach in the National Football League. We're talking about the top stories of the day in sports. The Chiefs, they have started their training camp today. The rookies and quarterbacks report in a couple of days. All of the veterans will be there. By Monday, the Chiefs will be having football practice with their entire team getting ready for the season. And also, if you missed it, the breaking news, America's favorite soap opera has ended. What team is LeBron James going to play for? We have our answer. He is the newest member of the Philadelphia 76ers. What was that saying that LeBron can't win a championship without a Jayhawk on his team? Well, he has maybe the best NBA Jayhawk we've seen in quite some time, and Joel Embiid is now one of his teammates. Coming up at the top of the hour, this has been an interview long in the making. Lance Tidwell, Lance the Spoken, will be on the show. We'll talk Chiefs. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Big Doug.
Hot dog! Get your hot dog!
Customize and save with Liberty Mutual.
Hey, what are you doing?
I like your method. Direct. To the point. A little loud, but...
Listen, people don't buy car insurance the same way they do hot dogs.
Not yet, but both are customizable.
Popcorn! Get your popcorn!
Hey, this is a hot dog area.
And customize and save area. Get a quote at libertymutual.com or with your local agent.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
We could describe it, use words like refreshing, perfectly balanced, and ice cold, or we could tell you it was called Frostbite by Casey's. It's a delicious frozen drink, and mediums are free every Friday with Casey's Rewards. Free Frostbite Fridays. It's not crazy, it's Casey's. See store for details.
Right now, we're doing our training camp previews, which will let you know that football is right around the corner. You know what's right around the corner from the football stadium? It's Gates Barbecue with 5 locations around town. It doesn't matter where you are in Kansas City. You are never too far away from that classic barbecue taste. We still got summer. I know it's a little dreary out right now, but that's not stopping you from going outside, maybe throwing something on the grill. The grill's got a cover. You got to remember that. So the next time you're at the grocery store, make sure you get some of that Gates sauce. I just ran out of the Gates season. I used it every morning when I was cooking breakfast. You know, I've been trying to change my diet. I got to go get some more Gates seasoning this weekend. If you're thinking about going out, you know what? You should tell your girl to slip on that nice dress. You know, the one you like, and say, babe, I'm going to take you somewhere nice, somewhere world class, somewhere with some of the best food in the world. She's going to get all excited. You can say, you know what, it's a surprise. And then you got to pull up at the Gates over on Main Street. I'm telling you, you will have a fantastic night. Get that small party tray. Get the mixed plate. You guys should split a beef on bun. Really make a relationship strong. Make sure you get some of those fries and have them sprinkle the seasoning on there. If you really love her, make sure you get her a Gates hoodie for in a couple of months when it's cold outside and she wants to wear your hoodie. It's Carrington Harrison telling you whatever your barbecue decisions are for the rest of the summer, make sure they include our friends over at Gates.
Look who has extra pep in their step.
Well, I just finished my to-do list. Gas tank is full, tonight's dinner plans are set, grocery shopping is complete, and I even got everything for those barbecues and pool parties we have planned. You know what's even better?
What?
Every one of those stops gets me a bit of money back.
How are you doing that?
By using Upside.
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app where I earn cash back on gas, groceries, and dining out. They even gave me a cashback bonus on my first grocery trip.
So that extra pep comes from all that cash back. Looks like I need to download Upside.
You really do.
Earn cash back on errands and everyday essentials. Download Upside and use promo code SNAP5 to earn an extra $5 cash back on your first purchase at one of over 100,000 available locations. That's promo code SNAP5 for an extra $5 cash back. Remember, use promo code SNAP5.
Offers vary by user and location at participating merchants. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
You like saving money, right? We all do. That's why Allstate just lowered the price of car insurance. Not, but wait, there's a catch. Lower. Actually lower. So if you're shopping around or just want to see how much you could save, check Allstate first for a new lower auto rate that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate. Not available in every state. Only applicable for new auto insurance business. Rates will vary by several factors, including how you purchase the policy. Potential savings vary. Allstate North American Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Hi, it's Mitch Holtis, voice of the Chiefs. Be a part of history by attending Chiefs training camp in St. Joseph, Missouri this summer and see the Chiefs up close. Make the trip to St. Joe something for you and your family to remember. Go to stjomo.com to view or download a free visitor guide and plan your trip. It's where the Pony Express started and Jesse James ended. That's stjomo.com for all the details to make your trip. Chiefs Training Camp in St. Joseph, Missouri will be one you'll never forget. Produced in cooperation with Visit Missouri.
Onyx, I keep having stomach issues. Please make me a doctor's appointment.
Okay, are you suffering from diarrhea, bloating, gas, or oily stools? If so, you may want to ask your doctor if it could actually be a problem with your pancreas, called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI.
My pancreas? How is EPI treated?
A prescription medicine like Creon, pancrelipase, is used to treat people who can't digest food normally because their pancreas doesn't make enough enzymes. Creon is the #1 prescribed treatment for EPI.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you are allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules, as this may cause mouth irritation. medication. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon. You can learn more at 1-800-633-9110.
Before your appointment, visit creoninfo.com. That's CREON info.com.
Royals coverage sponsored by Renner Garage Door. Forward and back, RENNER.
Almost Andy Reid here. Summer heat can put your garage door to the test. Stay ahead of the game with a Renner Garage Door summer tune-up. Plus, get free repair or replacement quotes and $100 off a new garage door. Forward and back.
RENNER.
Hey, it's Bobby Witt Jr., and you're listening to the home of the Royals, 96.5 The Fan.
KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station. The Drive with Carrington Harrison and Rob Brenton.
You losers is what you are.
On your home for Kansas City sports, 96.5 The Fan. Follow the station on Instagram at TheFan965 for giveaways and behind-the-scenes content.
There are two highly anticipated interviews that this show has scheduled. Coming up on Monday, Jungle Law will be in studio. I have so many questions for Jungle Law. He is bringing in a monkey. The next one is our next guest. We are having on some of my favorite Chiefs content creators. Lance the Spoken joins us on the show so we can talk about the Chiefs. Lance, how are you doing? Welcome to the show, my man.
Is this really happening right now, Carrington? I mean, I feel like the bridges have been, they've been put together. The fences have been mended. And we are here talking on your show. I cannot believe it. I mean, I had to pinch myself a few times to make sure I wasn't dreaming here. Carrington, this is awesome, buddy. I'm really glad to be here with you, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. I'm happy to have you on the show as well. It is funny because we recently started following each other, and I don't know if this is a good or a bad thing. You and I have a lot of the same feelings about the Kansas City Chiefs heading into the season. Maybe that means that we both are incredibly right about this thing, or maybe we're going to be terribly wrong about this thing. But you and I, from what I've seen, we feel like we're in lockstep heading into the season. I think the Chiefs are going to be good, but there are some clear problem marks heading into the season, whether it comes to the uncertainty with their secondary or their defensive line and their pass rush, where they are completely inexperienced, that worry me a little bit heading into the year.
Well, I think to start off from what you just said at the beginning, man, when you said that, we could be really right or really wrong, I'm going to go with the first one on this one because I like to say that you and I are the type of guys that aren't afraid to say the things that everyone's really thinking deep down but are afraid to say it out loud. And that's exactly where I'm at right now, man. This is a team that, in my opinion, I've been saying it since day one when the offseason started and we saw the way 2025 went, that with this team needed to take drastic measures and make changes. We knew that Andy Reid wasn't going to go anywhere. We knew Brett Veach wasn't going to go anywhere. We knew that Patrick Mahomes was inevitably going to be healed. That dude's a mutant with human skin. So we knew he was going to probably play week one. But what we needed to see this team do was make some real changes around the core infrastructure of this team because there are old pieces they're still relying on, like Travis Kelce and Chris Jones, which I'm sure we're going to talk about in just a minute. But they didn't do that at all this offseason. They went with what was safe. They went back with their old OC they literally let walk out the door a few years ago. They made some very predictable decisions throughout this offseason. They played it safe in free agency. They made some very questionable decisions in the draft. Some I liked, some I really didn't like, and we can talk about that as well. But, yeah, man, this has been the most concerning offseason so far in the Mahomes era. And I do agree that this is going to be a good team, but that's not what this team aspires for. They aspire for Super Bowl prowess. They aspire to be a contender on an annual basis. And I think there is a legitimate question as to whether this team is really going to be a true Super Bowl contender in 2026.
That's interesting you say that because I think that certainly is the case on offense. I think they played it pretty safe on offense. I know they made improvements to the running back room, but everybody could see that they were going to make improvements in the running back room. They were bottom 5 in the NFL last year. There were 3 possible options. They went out and they grabbed one of those options in Kenneth Walker. When you look at the wide receiver room, they didn't really make any changes. Offensive line didn't really make any changes. I feel that they were safe on offense. I disagree with you on defense just because their entire defensive ends are uncertainties. Their cornerback room, they don't return a guy who was an important starter in the NFL last year in their cornerback room. Their defense, they are taking a massive change, and they're trusting Spags, and they're trusting their ability to coach him up. On offense, they think that the return of Eric Bieniemy is enough to correct a lot of their problems.
And that's the issue I have with their approach, because I do agree that it was on the offense that they played it a little bit more on the safe side, because and we both know, no matter how good this defense is, we know that this team is only going to go as far as Patrick Mahomes and this offense does will them, because even in 2023, when their offense wasn't great and their defense was fantastic in almost all the numbers, it was Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl that had that fantastic drive at the end and played the heroics and did what he did that put this team over the top against the 49ers. And that's my problem, is that, this is all Andy Reid, because Andy Reid always talks about infamously, I get 51% of the vote. I think that goes across the board. I think it comes from infrastructure decisions all the way to game planning to play calling, all that stuff. So that's why I never really blamed Matt Nagy. So bringing Eric Bieniemy back, I understand why they did it, but this offense needed a new, fresh set of eyes on it. If it is about coaching, if it is about play calling, if it is about those things, and Andy Reid is not willing to relinquish the play calling duties, not willing to relinquish some of the things that he takes on, this is all going to fall at his feet then. And that's why I don't really focus on the offensive coordinator. I focus on what Andy Reid does and doesn't do. And to me, it's not something that I think Eric Bieniemy is going to come in here and all of a sudden things are going to get, you guys are getting more disciplined. Like my guy Marcus Dash was saying earlier, like, is it really, you guys weren't focusing on those things before with Matt Nagy? Or am I really supposed to believe that? I've been a Chiefs fan my whole life. I'm supposed to believe this team wasn't focusing on the disciplinary side of things. We know that Andy Reid is a non-nonsense kind of guy. We know that he focuses on the details. So I don't buy that at all. They needed a fresh set of eyes to help Patrick Mahomes evolve, as not only is he getting older, but he literally has just suffered an injury that 15 to 30 years ago could have ended careers. So this was an opportunity for the Chiefs to go get a young set of eyes. And I'll answer your question right now, C-Dot, that you asked before the break. Would Andy Reid hire Andy Reid, a younger Andy Reid, an unproven commodity out there that clearly had the mind and the capability of becoming something in this league as far as a head coach is concerned? I will answer it definitively no, because we have seen time and time again that Andy Reid continues to go with what is safe at his offensive coordinator position, a guy that will not get in his way, a guy that will not push any real buttons, that makes any kind of controversial decisions or tries to get in the way, and that's what he likes. Now, it has worked to this point, but 2025 was the season that set it all in motion, that this team needed to make changes, because when they went to 3 straight Super Bowls and won 2 of them, no one's questioning whether they are doing the right thing or not, because it was working. But now it's not worked anymore, and they have to pivot, and they did not do that, and that's what I'm concerned about. And you mentioned the defense. Sure, they did make a lot of risky decisions, and a lot of times that has worked for them. They had a lot of rookies starting in 2022, and they won that way. That can happen again. But in my eyes, they did not answer the biggest needs on defense. They did not go after edge rush. They waited and waited and waited until the second round, and they got an undersized speed rusher. That's not a guy that fits the SPAG system, so that's even a bigger risk, and you're relying on a collective of young guys from the edge rush position, guys that are not, in my opinion, real threats to make real differences. Could our Mason Thomas change and develop into something special? Sure, but that's probably going to take a couple years. George Karlaftis has shown us that he's more of a Ryan Kerrigan than a Dwight Freeney. He's not a guy that you can rely on the outside, and Chris Jones, as you've said on your show the last week, is no longer the guy that this defense can bank on like they did in 2022 and 2023, because if you look at those seasons, they finished second in sacks, and then 2024 is finished 20th, and then last season they finished 26th. It is a regression, a steady regression, and instead of taking that seriously, when you finally have a top 10 pick, probably the only top 10 pick you're going to have in the Mahomes era, you decided to play it safe. Well, I wouldn't say safe, but they try to replicate Trent McDuffie with an even more expensive pick, and to me that's nonsense, because of the way that Brett Veach has drafted and developed cornerbacks, and this team has drafted and developed cornerbacks. I thought that was the wrong decision. I'm not trying to get ahead of myself, but Carrington, this is stuff I've been waiting to talk about for a long time, so I'm just fired up about it, man.
Right now we're talking to Lance Tidwell. Lance has spoken. We're talking about the Chiefs training camp right now. They have things going. We'll get you an injury update in a while. We have an injury update on basically every player that you would have had a question about. I don't want to put words in your mouth, Lance, but you were not talking about the Chiefs as a team that you see as a Super Bowl contender this year.
The problem I have with this team is because, like I said, I don't think they made the decisions to get better from one year to the next. I think Kenneth Walker was an obvious slam dunk. I just on paper, he makes this offense better. But the problem that you even alluded to just a few minutes ago is the wide receiver room and the tight end room are the exact same. Now, the offensive line, Josh Simmons, we're all assuming he's going to take that next step. He's going to be actually available for an entire season. That's going to make this offense better just in that regard. But they do not have men on the outside that can beat man coverage. We have seen that. That That is why they struggled on third downs. That is why they struggled to put points on the board unless they're playing the Commanders or the Raiders or bad teams like that. That is the issue. They did not do a single thing in the wide receiver room, and now they're going to overly rely on a 37-year-old tight end in Travis Kelce, who's still really good, but it is so unfair to expect him to be the guy, which right now, let's be real, if you had to take your pick on all the weapons on the outside, he is the guy that we know that Mahomes is going to look to and look towards, and that is just so unfair for a guy that age to expect him to be that guy. And so that was the biggest problem I have. And the thing that the Chiefs do have in their favor, though, C-Dot, is because I know you're going to probably ask me the question about the AFC and who's the best team, and I'll answer that later on. But the thing about the advantage the Chiefs do have is that they are looking at an AFC right now that is very much wide open. Every single team that we're assuming will contend in the playoffs in the AFC side of things have flaws. You look at the Bills, they have a rookie head coach, and they have a choke artist for a quarterback who's great until he gets out of the wild card round, and then we see what he does. We see Lamar Jackson, continual choke jobs in the postseason with a rookie head coach. You look at the Texans, amazing defense, good skill position guys, but C.J. Stroud crapped his pants continuously in the postseason last year and literally cost them a chance at a Super Bowl. You look at the Patriots. Was it more about the schedule or was it more about them? Mike Vrabel's offseason distractions. Will that be an actual issue? Does Drake May develop? There's a lot of questions for all these teams in the AFC that the Chiefs can look at this and go, well, you know what? We may not have the best offseason, but we know that we've done this more than anybody else has by far, and if it's wide open, then it's anyone's opportunity. If Mahomes is healthy and Andy Reid gets out of his own damn way and decides to run a balanced offense, maybe they do have a real chance to get back into Super Bowl prowess. But the problem I have with this team is that they're kind of have to rely on everyone else kind of playing into that narrative where maybe we aren't ready. You know, we're a year away because we have a rookie head coach or we still have flaws in this roster. So maybe we won't be able to legitimately contend until 2027. So maybe the Chiefs can swoop in and get another opportunity. But I don't like this team having to rely on those things. I want to see this team go out there and take it by the throat like they did for the majority of this last decade. And I just don't feel like they did enough this offseason. I hope I'm wrong, Carrington. I know you probably feel the same way about some of your criticisms towards this team, but the criticisms still exist, and I'm not going to ignore them.
We'll get you out of here with this last question then. Who do you see as the best team heading into the season? We've had two people on. We've had two completely different answers. I think the answer is the Broncos right now, but that is not the answer that our other two guests have given.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Believe it or not, here we are agreeing again. I think the Broncos have the best roster. I think that they have the team that, around their quarterback, who I actually have a big question on still. I don't believe in Bo Nix. I think they have obviously a proven head coach that's shown that he can win. I think that overall you probably have to go with the Broncos, but I do think the Patriots, if you do down the checkboard, everything goes right for the Patriots. They have a team. I do think they benefited clearly off a terrible schedule last year, but Mike Vrabel is a proven head coach in this league, went to an AFC championship with Ryan Tannehill as his quarterback. They have a good defense. They have a dual-headed monster in their backfield. Obviously, adding A.J. Brown's going to add so much versatility to their offense. So I think it's between those two, man. That's what I would probably say.
Lance, tell people how they can keep up with your work.
Awesome. Yeah, man. So you guys hit me up on X at Lance the Spoken. We're going to get back on the show things on a normal basis on YouTube and all the other live stream platforms, The Spoken. And I have a show on Tuesday nights called the 65 Toss Power Talk Show. We have our Facebook page, The Spoken. You guys can join, talk all sports all the time. Carrington, I have to say this real quick before I get out of here, man. To know that the GOAT's going to bring 5 and 6 in the next 2 years really excites me now that he joined the Philadelphia 76ers. And a side note, I am so excited for you. I've been paying attention. I've been hearing about you getting your 10,000 steps in. As a guy myself over the last year that's lost over 80 pounds, I just want to tell you I'm proud of you, man, and keep up the great work, man.
I'm down 25 pounds since I started this journey. I just try to eat right and walk every day. That's all I'm trying to do. That is
You're doing great, man. You're doing great.
That is Lance the Spoken joining us on the show today, getting you ready for a training camp, man. Appreciate your time.
Thank you, Carrington.
Absolutely. That is Lance the Spoken joining us on the show today. Coming up, we will give you an injury update for every Chiefs player that you can think of. If you think they could quite possibly be injured, we have an update on them heading into the season. We'll do that next. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Shawnee Mission Ford is under all new management, and Shawnee Mission is dealing because summer's better at the lake, on a road trip, or hauling a backyard project, and summer's simply better in a Ford. So if you have not shopped Shawnee Mission Ford in a while, Well, the rules have changed in your favor. They're never going to be undersold. They're always going to make you feel like family. In fact, if you bring them any written offer on the same vehicle, they will match it or beat it, period. And right now, the F-150 is even better. Get 2.9% APR plus a $1,000 Ford credit bonus cash on the new 2026 F-150. That's right, only 2.9% with $1,000 of bonus cash, making the F-150 the truck you could afford this summer. Shop them right now at ShawneeMissionFord.com. That's ShawneeMissionFord.com. Just off I-35 on Shawnee Mission Parkway. Life's better in a Ford. Discover yours today at Shawnee Mission Ford. 2.9% APR with approved credit through Ford Credit. Auto buyers will qualify. Excludes Raptor dealer administration fee $7.99. Price match applies to a valid written offer from a licensed dealer on an identical in-stock vehicle with comparable mileage and the same trade valuation. Exclusions apply. See dealer for details.
At Farmers, our honesty is contagious.
Wait, am I going to catch honesty?
Well, when you're with Farmers, it's kind of inevitable.
Well, how long does it take to... I lied to you when you asked if I knew what a deductible was. I don't know my dad's birthday, and I thought umbrella policies were for rainstorms. Actual rainstorms. I have it, don't I?
You don't just have honesty.
You have Farmers. Bum, ba, bum, 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 bum.
Learn more at farmers.com. Underwritten by Farmers Truck or Fire Insurance Exchanges or Affiliate. Products not available in every state.
What's up, guys? It's Drew. Look, let's be real for a second. When it comes to performance, good just isn't good enough, just like the teams that we cheer for. And that's exactly why Blue Chew raised the bar for you. Introducing Blue Chew Gold, the revolutionary 4-in-1 upgrade that targets both your brain and your body. Blue Chew Gold dissolves right under your tongue and starts working in as little as 15 minutes. So there's less waiting, more confidence, and a whole new level of readiness. And I've told you before, confidence is key. You know it the same as I do. Get started today at BlueChew.com and see why millions of men trust Blue Chew. Now, with a gold standard upgrade that's changing the game for good. It's not just about function anymore. It's about total performance, both physical and mental. They're turning bedroom performance into an Olympic sport, so go for gold. Make life easier by getting harder and discover your options at BlueChew.com. There's a special deal for you there. Get 10% off your first month of Blue Chew Gold with code KFNZ. That's promo code KFNZ. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety info.
Conservative, family man, author of The Bald Plan to Reduce Property Taxes. Listen to Scott Schwab.
Property taxes are killing Kansans. But one day, it hit me. BALD.
BALD stands for Better Affordable Living by Decreasing Property Taxes. And it's the only detailed plan. Schwab's BALD plan means voter approval for property tax hikes, refunds for unfair assessments, and tax relief for seniors and working families. Listen to Scott Schwab.
I focus on reducing taxes for Kansans. You should keep more. My BALD plan makes sure of it. When I'm governor, we'll get it done.
Finally, a governor with a good head on his shoulders. Author of the BALD Plan to Decrease Property Taxes. Conservative Republican Scott Schwab for governor. Visit scottschwab.com/bald to learn more. Paid for by Schwab for Governor, Jim Felter, Treasurer.
You've got a big day, so you use Unstoppable Scent Boosters to give your laundry non-stop freshness. So no matter how long the day goes, you
can't stop this power, this walk, this pose, this strut, this look, this talk.
Your clothes will be so fresh you can confidently strut into that end of the day meeting like a
boss, 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 bosses. Let's talk business in my office.
Add new Unstoppable beads to your wash for 24-hour non-stop freshness so you can smell unstoppable.
I'm Piera Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. Our robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at amanet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today. Dial 877-WebNow1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLInjuryLaw.com.
Okay, 2 problems on 70 that'll slow you down. You've got 70 eastbound just past Blue Ridge Boulevard. Right lane is blocked. And then you've got westbound 70 just past Nolan. Right lane is blocked there. So backups in both directions. Okay, the crash still downtown 670 eastbound as you approach 35. Right lane is blocked. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Hey, it's Trey Smith from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome back to The Drive with C-Dot on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
All right, we are going to hear from Patrick Mahomes here coming up momentarily. Let me give you a injury update on basically every person that is dealing with an injury right now. Patrick Mahomes has been fully cleared to practice in all phases of practicing. Andy Reid commented on week 1 and said that's what they are pushing for, but you know as well as I know, Andy is not committing in late July to Patrick Mahomes in week 1. But if you have been cleared to practice fully and you are going to take all of the QB1 reps, it is very safe to say that Patrick Mahomes is going to play week 1 of the NFL season. They have some other injuries. Omar Norman-Lott, he is most likely going to start on the PUP list. He is making progress. He got injured last year. So to explain the PUP list of how it works, you can go on the PUP list at the very beginning of training camp. But the moment you step on the football field and maybe you have a setback, if you then go on another list, you have to go on the injured list and you have to miss the early portion of the season. So you can start on the PUP list and then show up August 6th with no penalty toward the regular season. They just take you off of the list. But if you start practicing, you have a setback and then you got to miss some time and they have to put you on a list, you can't go on and off of the PUP list. So they're going to take it slow with him, put him on the list. He can't perform. I'm sure he'll be out there. He'll be doing work over on the side. He'll be lifting weights. He'll be riding a bike. He'll be stretching, doing all those football things. And you will see him at some point in training camp. For Rashee Rice, his knee is ready to go. He will practice. On Wednesday, they have their first Veterans Day. So you get a couple of days where it's just rookie and quarterbacks. And then on Wednesday, that's when everybody gets going. Rashee Rice, everything is clear. The knee is good. He will be on the field participating. When it comes to their corners, Mansour Delane, he is getting his last physical. If I remember correctly, Mansour Delane missed a little bit of mini camp and OTAs. I don't think it was anything serious. So now they're getting him back. I don't think there's anything to be worried about when it comes to him. Also, L'Jarius Sneed. Quote from Harold Kuntz. L'Jarius Sneed will be a gradual process. He is doing well, but they are taking it slow with his knees. Patrick Mahomes told the media, and we're working to get the audio for you. The moment I have it, we'll play it for you coming up in a bit. Patrick Mahomes said that he learned 2 days ago that he would be fully cleared to practice for the Kansas City Chiefs. So that is all of the news that I have right now related to the Chiefs. We actually have some of the Mahomes audio, Jason, if you got it to play here. Here's what Patrick Mahomes said about being cleared to practice for the team.
I mean, it's kind of always just been the plan, you know, like just looking at the dates, and there were certain checkpoints I had to get to this point, and this is just another checkpoint on the schedule, you know. And so you have to continue to work. It's not like it's over and I'm just going to be able to play a game tomorrow. It's you got to continue to work and get better and better and go throughout practice and prove to the coaches, prove to the doctors and everybody that I'm the same quarterback I was before, if not better.
That was the quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes. We have the press conference here. Here's everything that Patrick Mahomes had to say about his injury today out at Chiefs training camp. Here's Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, it's a lot of hard work and just day to day, just continuing to do it over and over again. It was always the goal to be able to practice when we got to training camp, and so we've kind of hit that next step, and now it's just going to be about building and keep getting better and better, and so that whenever the regular season comes around, I can try to be available and ready to play.
When did you know for sure that you were going to be able to practice the first day?
Like 2 days ago. So I was able to go down and meet with Dr. Cooper and just kind of go through the stuff like that, and then him seeing the numbers and stuff that I've been putting up. He gave him the comfortability to let me go out there and be fully cleared to practice, which, I mean, I don't get hit, so that's one part of it, but it's still good to be out there and have bodies around and being able to go through and run the offense.
Hey, Patrick, to be hurt so late in the season in December,
how did it become realistic for you to be at this point now, just given the time it goes for rehab?
I mean, it's kind of always just been the plan, like just looking at the dates, and there were certain checkpoints I had to get to this point, and this is just another checkpoint on the schedule, and so you have to continue to work. It's not like it's over and I'm just going to be able to play a game tomorrow. It's you got to continue to work and get better and better and go throughout practice, and prove to the coaches, prove to the doctors and everybody that I'm the same quarterback I was before, if not better, and I can go out there and take care of myself and win football games.
You said before, Patrick, that you wanted to be able to run and sort of change directions. Do you feel like that's improved since we last talked to you over the last 2 months?
100%. I mean, I had to. I mean, that's stuff I had to prove to the doctors and to the coaches and everybody like that to be at this point. And so it's a long process. The process isn't over. It'll be something I'll probably deal with for the next few years of my career and throughout the rest of my career. But you have to stay on top of that stuff. But I feel comfortable now being able to go out there and run the offense the way the offense is supposed to be ran.
How much of a challenge do you think it'll be mentally, when you're ongoing with your first 11-hour period, or do you feel that you'll just be able to get right back to where you were?
I mean, you don't know. That's kind of just part of the process, we've had people kind of on air kind of coming at me and me moving, but it's not the same as having Chris Jones chasing after you, and so that's part of the mental process. That's part of the physical process is being able to go out there, but I'm happy that I get to do that. I get to do that from the beginning of training camp, and this will be the hardest training camp that you can have as far as preparing for the season. And so I'm glad that I'm able to do that starting tomorrow, and then we can continue as training camp goes on.
Does that include you wearing a brace probably all season, or would you have hoped to shed it at some point?
There isn't really a plan for it. I'm going to start off with it just because I've worn it before, and I feel comfortable with it. So that's kind of where we will start. But it's not like I've been told I have to wear it or how long I have to wear it. It's just going to be my comfortability, how I feel. But I will start with it on just because I feel like I can still move and be myself with it. I played with it in college, and then we'll just see where we go from there.
When you came back from your injury in college, do you remember the first time you were in a live situation again? How did you react, and how do you think you'll react here?
We will see. I mean, I think more than that. I think what I think of the most is when I dislocated my knee. We played in that Titans game a few weeks later, and I felt healthy and everything like that. And I have that throw where I jump and throw the ball, and it looks cool, but I actually did it because I was trying to get my knee out of there. So it's just little things like that. You just have to build that confidence back. But like I said, I'm glad I get to do that from the day one of training camp. I didn't want to have to get only a couple weeks of practice in and then have to go play in a game. I wanted to build it up, and how training camp goes is we gradually build. And so I think that'll gradually help me kind of get back to where I need to be.
Do you want to play in the preseason, Patrick, if given the opportunity, if you demonstrate continual progress?
I think we'll just see when we get there. Like I'm a competitor, so game day I'm going to want to be out there. But I understand the process of getting myself ready to play in the regular season is more important. But we will see. I mean, the coaches and docs will kind of make that decision for me. But I'll prepare myself like I'm going to play, and then if I'm just doing a very hard warm up, I will take that as serious as playing in the preseason game. And so it's just So it's a couple weeks away, but it feels like a long ways away. I'm going to go with the next step of just kind of going out there with the rookies this week.
You said Patrick, you want to show that you can come out of this the same or better.
Mm-hmm.
In what ways do you think you can come out of this a better player?
Yeah, I think when you talk to guys that have kind of had this injury I have, a lot of times you're stronger. I feel stronger than I've ever felt as far as strength and lifting and stuff like that. And so now it's just about getting that quarterback stuff down, the stuff moving in the pocket quick, making those quick movements, reacting and doing stuff like that. And so I feel like I wasn't playing my best football at the end of last year before I got hurt. And so I got to find ways to get better, kind of navigating the pocket, running the offense better, and getting the ball in my hands and letting other guys make plays. And so I think this injury helped me kind of focus on those little things as I kind of get back to being who I am.
Hey, Patrick, they were asking about you. Excuse me. Yeah, they were asking about the mental part of your game going forward. But looking back over the last few months, what was the toughest part of the rehab process? And was there anything mentally that you had to push through?
You know, honestly, the toughest part was at the beginning was like not being able to get up and like chase my kids around like that. I know it sounds crazy, but being a dad and being active, I always want to be around my kids and playing and stuff like that. And so I think that was tough. Once I was able to do that, it kind of motivated me to kind of keep getting better and better. So when Bronze has a T-ball game or Sterling's playing soccer, I can be out there with them. I always knew that I was going to get back here, and it's just because of my mindset and the people that we have around me. I think that once I was able to do that, it kind of mentally helped me kind of get through this process.
Patrick, when you mentioned that Titans play, when was it where you felt like you weren't maybe cautious about that?
I think after that play, it's like I showed that I could be athletic, I could jump off the knee that I had injured, and that I could still make plays that I've always made. And so you'll never know until you get out there and you get hit and you make plays. That's just kind of part of it. But I trust the process that I've been through. I feel amazing, and I just got to keep continuing with that, and then I'll take that first hit just like you do every regular season, and then you go back to playing football, the game you love.
Related to that, you mentioned
some of the guys that you said you had talked to about this. Who are some of the guys, and what's the best advice and wisdom that you received?
You know, I talked to Tom early in the process because he had the same injury, a very similar injury that I had. Tyron a little bit, kind of very similar injury. And then I talked a lot to actually Zach Ertz, who got injured very close in my time, and we kind of had like competitions on like where we were at and where we were rehabbing. And so it's just kind of talking to guys that have been through this process and just say like how you have to stay on top of it. I mean, like it's a long process. I remember sitting on the table and watching us play those last few games, how much it hurt me, but I knew that if I continue to work, I could be at this spot where I get cleared for practice. And now I'm just trying to get to that spot where I'm cleared to play in the regular season on that first week.
Let's go across the room. Matt, Derek, you're up.
I just asked.
Oh, you got yours? Okay.
Yeah.
I know you had some injuries before, but how much have you learned about yourself throughout this whole process?
I don't know if I really learned anything crazy. It's just like a mindset you have to have in order to go about this process, and it's hard. Like every day is hard, and you have to just continue to just stack days on days, and stuff kind of just builds and builds. And like I said, I think having my kids and being able to like after rehab go to t-ball practice, and after rehab go to whatever with Sterling, and I think that kind of kept my mind off the repetitiveness. And so now it's just about getting here. And I've told some of the guys is like sometimes you come up to St. Joe and you're like, all right, we're gonna go to St. Joe or be in the dorm, stuff like that. I'm like, I'm excited just to be able to play football. I've been seeing cinder block walls rehabbing every single day in Kansas City, and so now to get out to be on that practice field with my teammates and my brothers, it's gonna be a lot of fun.
And you've been a pretty mobile quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
How much have you learned that you may not be able to do some of the things that you did before?
I plan to be able to do everything I did before. I've been moving around and doing that stuff, but I'm going to obviously try to take care of myself a little bit better than I did last season. I think I ran a little bit too much last season in general, so I'll try to be better with that. And then if all else fails, just give it to K9 and let him just go out there and work.
Aaron?
The injury aside, you all didn't have the year that you wanted last year. Does it feel different come to St. Joe this year? Do you approach anything differently?
It doesn't feel different in the sense of like what happened last year, because that happened last year. It's a brand new year. If you win the Super Bowl or don't make it, if you don't win the Super Bowl, you're in the same spot, and you're coming to kind of do it again this next year. I think it's just the longer break. I think you can just tell guys are more excited to be back in the building. You know, we've had a lot of short off seasons, and so having that extra 6 weeks, it sounds awesome until you're in the middle of summer and you're like, man, I really miss football. And so I think just seeing the guys around the building, especially this last week, as guys are kind of filing back into Kansas City, you can tell guys are really pumped to get back out here and play football.
Todd?
Coach mentioned that Rasheed had been up rehabbing after he got out. What do you expect from him? You think he's going to be up here at this rookie part now? I mean, what's his mindset coming into this from when you've seen him?
Yeah, he's excited to get back out here. Kind of the similar thing is he's ready to play football again and just get out here and be with the guys. And I've been rehabbing with him a lot. He's been in the building as much as I have, him and Omar. And it's been, I mean, I hate that they're injured, but it's been good for me because you have guys that you can work with and try to get better with together. And so he's doing great. Like, he's doing great. I've thrown to him. He's caught. He's done all the stuff he needs to do. And I don't know if he'll be out on the field or whatever, but no, he's rehabbing and doing what he needs to be on the field whenever camp gets going.
And last little thing, you mentioned numbers with when you're doing your rehab. These are probably not yards and stuff. What are the little numbers you compete with Zach Ertz on? What were those things?
Well, it would start off as like how much deadlift, like what you're deadlifting, where you're at, and then it's like you send little videos like he's jumping and doing certain acceleration things, and I'm like sending him next week doing cutting and stuff like that, and so it keeps the competition going because it's a long process, and you feel like sometimes you're lonely because you're doing stuff by yourself and you're just competing against yourself. So it gave me someone else that I can compete with to kind of push my competitive drive.
Jesse?
Hey, Patrick, what's one area you want to be sure to improve this year after the season you went through?
Yeah, I think it's just about getting the ball out of my hands. I think, obviously, I like to make the big play happen, and sometimes I won't take the short one, or I won't take the first read because I'm trying to make a bigger play happen. It's getting the ball out of my hands, making plays like that happen, and then whenever the deep ball is there, you have to hit it. Like, at the end of the day, that's just comes down to me throwing the ball and giving guys chances to make plays. It doesn't always have to be perfect, but give guys chances to make plays downfield, and so if we can do that, as well as the run game that I'm excited for, I think we can get back to being a dynamic offense.
Last one, Sam.
Andy says he plans on having you go through this camp as if it was any other, but have you had a conversation with him about, hey, if you want to call, under center plays more often, that I'm ready for that? Do you want just the same routine as if you haven't gone through this?
I mean, I want him to call it like we're going to call it in the regular season. So whatever that is, that's going to be the best way for me to prepare myself. And then I can always let him know if I need to get pulled back or anything like that. But how I am as a competitor, I want to go out there and test it. You want to test it now in training camp, see where you're at. So when you get to the regular season, it's almost a little bit easier because you've kind of been through it all. And so that's how he runs training camp. I don't think he's going to take it light on anybody, including me. And then I'm going to go out there and see what I can do.
Okay, thanks, Patrick.
I appreciate it. That was the press conference earlier today from St. Joe, from the quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs. This is maybe a little bit inside media. Maybe you guys will find this interesting. Maybe you won't. A lot of times in our conversations with Patrick that we have throughout the course of the season, it is hard sometimes because Patrick very rarely talks about himself. He usually will talk about his teammates or the success of the team. He isn't really one to have those moments of reflection. That was one of the better press conferences I think we've ever heard from Mahomes, because he understands this press conference, and the point of it is to talk about how you had to recover from the most difficult point in your career. So when he shares with you stories about reaching out to Tom Brady, who had a similar injury, or Tyrann Mathieu, or Zach Ertz, or dealing with the disappointment that at least for some portion of time, there is no running around in the backyard with the little ones. No, you got ice on your leg and your kids want to play and you can't go do those things because you are injured. That was one of the best media availabilities that we have heard from Patrick Mahomes, because he is speaking from a true and honest place. I also think in listening to that, you could hear the competitive nature of him and the competition level. He doesn't know how to turn it off, which in the offseason, if you were telling him that this is a challenge, and the challenge is you need to do everything you can to get back on the football field, the fact that he has had this level of recovery in this amount of time, where in essence, he has not missed anything of importance with the Kansas City Chiefs. He was probably not going to play in those final games anyway. Now, you don't want him to be injured and have to spend his offseason rehabbing, but when Patrick Mahomes got injured, the Chiefs were officially eliminated from the postseason. I believe that the knee injury was a little bit more serious than they had let on, but Patrick Mahomes is not going to physically be able to play, and then you're telling him, hey, why don't you sit this week out, not while you still had a chance to make the postseason. So the fact that he has done this amount of work to be where he participated in minicamp, he participated in OTAs, he is going to be there day one of training camp, is a testament to how hard he worked and the physical therapy and physical treatment that he has gone through to get his body ready for an upcoming season. I know it's been a while since we've had this conversation, so I don't want to beat a dead horse. I don't want to backtrack. But there is absolutely no reason to believe that Patrick Mahomes will not be out there week one of the NFL season. They wouldn't be letting him do this press conference if there was a choice. When an NFL player is injured, you can always hide behind the fact that they are injured, and based on the CBA, you don't have to speak to the media. If Mahomes was really hurt and they didn't want you talking to him, they would just hide behind that and he wouldn't talk until they were ready. They've always let you talk to him, which lets you know that they feel that he is on the path to recovery. I do wonder with this team. Last year, I don't know if the motivation was strong enough. I know that we tried to sell it a revenge tour, and after seeing Philadelphia, now they would come back and want to prove everybody wrong. You guys know I'm a big believer that teams take on the personality of their leader. When you see your leader doing everything physically that he can to get back onto the field, I'm sure some of his teammates went there to check on him and see how his rehab is going. And you see the amount of work that he is putting in to be on the field. You have to feel inspired. That has to make you want to run that extra lap. That has to make you want to put in that extra rep. If he's doing everything he needs to be ready, I need to do my part as well and to do everything that I can to make sure that he's safe and that he's protected and give us the best chance to win. I don't want to spin it like tearing your ACL is ultimately a positive. It's not a positive. But I do think the mentality of the Chiefs finally got to fight for something. It's been a while since the Chiefs have had to fight. And there's a saying in boxing, it's hard to wake up at 4 a.m. every morning when you've been sleeping in satin sheets. It's just hard to get to that mentality. Man, you had to get into the mentality if you're Patrick Mahomes of, I can only rely on myself. I got to get up every single day and I got to put the work in to get my knee healthy so I can get back there on the football field. You just have to think that energy permeates throughout the rest of the team. That was a really, really good media availability from Patrick Mahomes. Coming up at the top of the hour, we'll get to one of my favorite Chiefs creators. We're going to keep getting you ready for training camp, which gets started today in St. Joe. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Royals baseball. 96.5, The Fan.
I move mountains for a living. Literally. That means I don't carry hand lotion, and when it comes to serious heartburn, I don't mess around with anything but Rolaids Max Strength. Its dual active formula has 1,500 milligrams of calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide that relieves heartburn fast. And the best part? The roll fits right here in my pocket, so I can get back to moving mountains.
Rolaids spells powerful relief. 1,500 milligrams is our highest amount of antacid per tablet. Read each label. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Some things can steal your sunshine. Ugh, I just got my hair done.
Sorry, the cooler's broken. Anyone see my flip-flops? Anyone?
But COVID-19 can steal a lot more.
I just took a COVID test. Ugh.
Prescription medications for COVID exist. If you test positive this summer, ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com/COVID-19 to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
It's the summer sales event at Robside Ford. Your chance to upgrade without the stress. Robside joins me now. Rob, what's the offer?
0% financing, $0 down, and 0 payments for 90 days on nearly the entire Ford lineup.
That's a serious summer deal.
Sure is. And unlike your brisket last weekend, these deals aren't dry.
Okay, that's fair. These savings are definitely juicy.
And we're backing it up with 2 years of complimentary maintenance, a non-commissioned sales team, and top trade-in values.
No pressure, no gimmicks at Robside Ford. The way car buying should be.
We're Kansas City's top-rated Ford dealer. 4.8 stars, nearly 3,000 Google reviews, and a better experience from start to finish.
So skip the smoke and the dry meat. This summer, start at Robside Ford.
135th and State Line or robsighc.com. 0% financing, $0 down, 0 payments for 90 days, and 2 years of complimentary maintenance.
Robside Ford, buy right, drive happy. And next time, maybe stick to potato salad.
Is anyone paying attention to rural Kansas? Everything costs way too much, and the politicians in Topeka keep siding with big tech and give a thumbs up to these massive data centers. We need someone who will fight for our farmers and ranchers and all the working people of Kansas. Vicki Schmidt is running for governor. She's the insurance commissioner who is laser focused on lowering costs and taking a stand against these out-of-state tech companies. Vicki's running mate is Joe Newland. He's the former Kansas Farm Bureau president who has spent his career farming himself and advocating for our rural communities. Vicki Schmidt and Joe Newland will fight tirelessly to protect our land, water, and way of life. That's why the Kansas Farm Bureau has endorsed Vicki and Joe. Finally, someone who has our back. Vicki Schmidt and Joe Newland for governor and lieutenant governor. Defend US PAC paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Dustin McIntyre, Treasurer. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. DefendUSPAC.us.
Hey, it's Brew, and I feel like everything in my life depends on being connected. Whether I'm uploading a video, hopping on a call before my show, or video chatting with my family back in Michigan, I never have to think about my Wi-Fi. And that's why Xfinity stands out. You get the most reliable, fiber-powered Wi-Fi with the best equipment at one price service for 5 years guaranteed. No contracts or commitments. Plus, you can get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Use of fiber or coaxial cable. Learn more at xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi. Xfinity. Imagine that.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/team. That's ZipRecruiter.com/team.
ZipRecruiter.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
There's only one Ozempic.
Hello, I'm Ozempic. Because this ad is 30 seconds, I can't get into everything I'm FDA approved to do, so I'm just going to play my jingle again. But first, ask your doctor about which FDA approved uses of me, the Ozempic pen, may be right for you. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and learn more about Ozempic semaglutide injection, 2 milligrams. Only Novo Nordisk makes FDA approved Ozempic. Now here's that jingle again.
There's only one Ozempic.
Go to 965thefan.com for your chance to win Kansas City Chiefs scratch tickets, plus a chance for the grand prize Chiefs bundle, which includes a framed jersey and a signed photo. All thanks to our friends at the Kansas Lottery.
Royals coverage sponsored by Renner Garage Door. Forward and back, RENNER.
Almost Andy Reid here. Summer heat can put your garage door to the test. Stay ahead of the game with a Renner Garage Door summer tune-up. Plus, get free repair or replacement quotes and $100 off a new garage door. Forward and back.
RENNER.
Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLinjurylaw.com.
Okay, we've got a crash at a 70 eastbound just past 18th. Right lane is blocked. Still working downtown 670 eastbound. As you approach 35, okay, the right lane is blocked there. We've got a crash 35 southbound up past Parvin in the right lane. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Subscribe to 96.5 The Fan on YouTube to watch the show from wherever you are.
We're going to be joined by my guy from How About Those Chiefs coming up at the top of the hour. He is the most successful Chiefs YouTuber. Always been a big fan of his. Happy to have him on the show to talk about what we just heard from the quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes confirms that he has been cleared to practice for the Kansas City Chiefs. And it sounds like it is all systems go. He has been cleared to participate fully for the Kansas City Chiefs. So if that is the case, he is taking all of the 1 reps. Like I hear fully as we are preparing that he is going to start week 1 for the Kansas City Chiefs. I want to read this tweet to you guys because at the core, I understand the point. Even if I disagree a bit, I'll explain. C-Dot. I feel the Chiefs are taking the Royals approach to this season. I hope Mahomes is healthy. I hope Karlaftis can take that next step. I hope Chris Jones doesn't throw down at 32. I hope the rookies don't bust. Tons and tons of questions. Nothing is a single sure thing. That usually doesn't turn out well. Where I think it is a little bit unfair is the Royals approach is not based on a half decade of dominance. Like that's a significant difference. I also think it's who's in charge of it, of Andy Reid. I don't disagree at the core of what you are saying. And that's some of the points that I've made this week. The Chiefs are going into the season with massive question marks at some of the most important positions on the field. Their wide receiver room is a question mark in my mind. Right tackle is a question mark heading into the season. Their pass rush, their cornerback room. There is no question that the Chiefs are going into the season with certainty. But this goes to the point that I made off the very beginning of the show. I'm sure there are other shows that fit this example. But the show that works the example the best for me is Law & Order SVU. Law & Order SVU has one simple formula. Their formula is you love Olivia Benson. And as long as Olivia Benson is here, we will figure out the rest of it. They've had new district attorneys. They've given her new partners. She has gotten promotions over the years. But at the core of that television show is how connected are you to this character and how believable is this character? The relation to me with that as the Kansas City Chiefs is, yes, there are a lot of question marks. There are a lot of things that are uncertain about the Kansas City Chiefs. Do you trust Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, and Brett Veach? And if your confidence is still very high in those three people, then the Chiefs will be good this season. I don't know if they'll be the same head and shoulders above everybody. It is important to note there was a 5-year stretch with the Kansas City Chiefs where they were one of the 5 best teams in the history of the NFL, not just the current NFL. There was a stretch there where you would put that run of the Kansas City Chiefs, you would put that run up against anybody's run that anybody has ever had. So if the question is, can they go back to that? I mean, the answer is probably no. Like, that's probably the answer. I know the Patriots did it, but they've been playing NFL football for a very long time. There ain't a whole lot of examples of teams being like the New England Patriots. So they got to go into it with these questions. I don't know if it's possible to go from a 6-win team to then the next season where you feel certain about their roster. Just seems really difficult to do. I know we haven't had one of those teams in Kansas City in a while, and I know that some of you have said, well, last year this thing happened. I don't know if you can go from being a team that's picking in the top 10 to the next year you feel 100% certain about their roster. Because a lot of the same people that you won 6 games with, you need this year to be good. You need Patrick Mahomes to get back to being a superhero. We all love Patrick Mahomes. He has not been a superhero based on the numbers for the last couple of seasons. This is an offense that still needs to find out who their number one pass catcher is. We all love Travis Kelce. Your number one pass catching option cannot be 37 years old. Not in a league in which JSN is a team's best offensive weapon. Not on a team in which Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase and Puka Nacua, your best offensive player, can't be 37 years old and presumably in his last year in the National Football League. So I don't disagree with the premise of the text. Yes, the Chiefs have questions heading into the season, major questions, but the confidence heading into this season has to be based on 3 people. Do you still trust Andy Reid and that he is one of the 5 best coaches in the league? Do you still trust Brett Veach and his talent evaluation and his staff? Do you still think the Chiefs have the best quarterback in the National Football League? Because if they get all of those things to align, they'll be a good football team this year. And maybe that doesn't equal them winning the Super Bowl, but they'll get back to being an 11-12 win team and playing in important football games. And not just playing in them, because they played in a lot of important games last year. They'll get back to them winning important games. Buffalo was important last year. They lost. The Cowboys game was important last year. They lost. The Houston Texans game, when it was obvious that Houston was playing a lot better and that they were going to be serious contenders. The Chiefs lost that game as well. The Chiefs got to get back to winning those kinds of games when you are head-to-head against a team that you think is viable in the conference and also in the division. Coming up at the top of the hour, we're going to be joined by Cole DeRoos. He is with How About Those Chiefs. We are talking to some of my favorite Chiefs content creators today as we are getting ready for training camp. I want to play this audio because I'm trying to figure out what is wrong with this generation. Listen to this news story.
Gen Z is going broke after covering group tabs and trips.
It's because many of them say it's just too stressful to ask friends to pay them back. According to a new report by payment service Zelle, nearly half of Gen Zers surveyed said they've gone into debt after fronting the cost of group outings. Even when they do ask to be reimbursed, more than 3/4 said they were never fully repaid. Half said it created tension or damaged friendships. Some also said that they've canceled plans or ignored group chats to avoid money-related conflicts.
Amen. A few things. Number one, you want to show you got it that bad on Instagram, where you're now covering the bill for everybody? Now, maybe it's because we're getting a little bit older. I don't mind one person puts the bill on their credit card. We're all there. We all send the Venmo. But we're grown people. We all got jobs. We got mortgages. We got kids at this point. We got car payments, student loans. I'm not worried about my 40-year-old friends and their ability to pay me back for this dinner. And honestly, at this stage of my life, if I'm willing to put down my card, I've communicated to everybody, I got it. I'm taking care of it. So if I'm going to pay for me and the person that I'm with and pay for you because we're on a double date, I don't need you to Venmo me back. I don't want to play these games with anybody at this point. We're too grown. We're all making our own money at this point. Some of y'all going out to eat with your friends and you know they ain't got it and you ain't paying them back. That's nasty work, man. I'm not getting out of the group chat because you owe me money. You got to just ask those questions on the front end. I'm at the point now, if we decide that we're all going out to a nice steakhouse, me and my friends a couple times a year, we like to go out to 801 and just, hey, we're all here. We love each other. We can catch up with everybody and what they're doing. We're not playing those bill games at the end of it. We're all drinking. We're all eating. We're all sharing sides. When the end, and if this is the bill, we're just going to all split it down the middle. You take your portion, I take my portion, and we good. I don't even understand these. I'm trying to wonder how people's friend groups work. You were 27 years old you went into debt for that dinner? Come on now. You ain't been listening to Dave Ramsey. You ain't been listening to your mom's terrible financial advice. I don't understand.
They'll learn when they get a little bit older, I think.
I will hope so. One thing I've never really found that much importance in, I don't need to show you I got it. I don't get any joy out of that. I don't care if you don't know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. That's enough. You got to be doing this for Instagram. You got to be doing this for Facebook. You got to be doing this so you can show people you eating at 1587. Trust me, they don't care. No one cares where you had dinner yesterday. I promise you they don't really care. Coming up at the top of the hour, we'll be joined by my guy from How About Those Chiefs? Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
Your off-season home for everything Chiefs football.
Talking about the top story, the Chiefs, they have a new offensive coordinator.
96.5, The Fan. Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLinjurylaw.com.
Okay, we've got a crash at a 70 eastbound just past 18th. Right lane is blocked. Still working downtown 670 eastbound. As you approach 35, okay, the right lane is blocked there. We've got a crash 35 southbound up past Parvin in the right lane. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
J. Rieger & Co. Oh, so good. Quality crafted in Kansas City. J. Rieger & Co. Straight Bourbon Whiskey. Winner of Best Craft Bourbon at the 2025 Ascot Awards. At 90 proof, it's rich, well-balanced, and oh, so good. Quality crafted in Kansas City.
Conservative, family man, author of The Bald Plan to Reduce Property Taxes. Listen to Scott Schwab.
Property taxes are killing Kansans, but one day it hit me. BALD.
BALD stands for Better Affordable Living by Decreasing Property Taxes. And it's the only detailed plan. Schwab's BALD plan means voter approval for property tax hikes, refunds for unfair assessments, and tax relief for seniors and working families. Listen to Scott Schwab.
I'm focused on reducing taxes for Kansans. You should keep more. My BALD plan makes sure of it. When I'm governor, we'll get it done.
Finally, a governor with a good head on his shoulders. Author of the BALD plan to decrease property taxes. Conservative Republican Scott Schwab for governor. Visit scottschwab.com/bald to learn more. Paid for by Schwab for Governor, Jim Felter, Treasurer.
I move mountains for a living. Literally. That means I don't carry hand lotion, and when it comes to serious heartburn, I don't mess around with anything but Rolaids Max Strength. Its dual-active formula has 1,500 milligrams of calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide that relieves heartburn fast. And the best part? The roll fits right here in my pocket, so I can get back to moving mountains.
Rolaids spells powerful relief. 1,500 milligrams is our highest amount of antacid per tablet. Read each label. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Some things can steal your sunshine.
Ugh, I just got my hair done.
Sorry, the cooler's broken.
Anyone see my flip-flops? Anyone?
But COVID-19 can steal a lot more.
I just took a COVID test. Ugh.
Prescription medications for COVID exist. If you test positive this summer, ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com/COVID-19 to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Whether you're commuting to work or heading out for a fast coffee break, getting an auto insurance quote is just a tap away. With AAA, you're always connected, so you can focus on the road ahead. Rest easy knowing AAA's got you covered, no matter where life takes you. AAA, we're always with you. To start your quote, visit AAA.com/insurance. Insurance provided to qualified AAA members by Automobile Club Inter-Insurance Exchange and AAA affiliate insurers. Membership requires a separate payment.
Baseball season is in full swing, and that means the summer heat is coming. The guys at Climate Control have been serving KC homeowners for over 35 years, and they know how to get your cooling system ready to handle our scorching hot summer weather. Stay cool and comfortable this summer. Call Climate Control today at 816-265-2830. 816-265-2830 for all your cooling, heating, and plumbing needs. Don't wait. Visit ClimateControlKC.com today. Climate Control Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Tonight, expect a temperature of 71 with slight showers, transitioning to mostly cloudy later.
Weather brought to you by Capital One. Capital One offers no fees or minimums on checking accounts. What's in your wallet? Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank guide. Capital One NA, member FDIC.
What do parents think of back to school at Staples, where supplies start at just 25 cents?
Staples has the latest laptops with up to 40% savings.
I may hug the cashier.
So embarrassing.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
It's a wonderful time at Staples with up to 40% off select tech. Staples.
That was easy.
Visit Staples today or shop online and in the app. Ends 9/12. Exclusions apply.
Car wreck? Get the money you deserve. Mike's got this.
Paid for client betrayal and endorsement. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Give me one good reason why I should call DM Law.
How about 3 great reasons? 1, it's easy. 2, it's fast. 3, the results.
Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
This is your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan. KFNC FM and AM HD1 and HD2 Kansas City. An Odyssey Sports Station. The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for K-State Athletics. 96.5 The Fan.
Today we are celebrating the start of training camp with some of my favorite Chiefs content creators. My favorite is How About Those Chiefs? Cole DeRoos joins us on the show. He is by far and away the most successful Chiefs YouTuber. Happy to have him on the show. Cole, how you doing today, my man?
Carrington, let's go, man. There's actually somewhat football news to talk about with the start of training camp. I'm honored to be on.
Absolutely, man. Let's start with this. I've talked to Patrick Mahomes a lot. I've heard a lot of Patrick Mahomes audio. I thought that was one of the best media availabilities that he has ever had. I thought it was very insightful in his thought process as he was attempting to get back to the field. I'm sure you listened to it by now. What did you make of what Patrick Mahomes had to say?
Yeah, you can just tell how hard he's been attacking the offseason, and I feel like what you're talking about, his difference, his presence, it's just carrying over to, I think, just everything. The down year, the injury, all the talk, and he's ready to be back out there, obviously, hopefully week 1 against the Denver Broncos.
A lot to get into as we are heading into the training camp. So let's start with this. What do you feel the most confident in regarding the Chiefs heading into the season? Where's your biggest question mark heading into the season?
Ooh, 2 good questions. Confident. I am confident in the fact that they have a real run game now. Obviously, we need to see how that plays out schematically and what the plan is there, but they've needed to invest into this running back room for years now, 7th-round picks or 1-year flyers, and they finally have done that. So a lot of confidence there. Obviously, that also curtails to the questions. They're running back predominantly the same wide receiver room, tight end room, O-line, which I don't think is a problem. National media does. And then the defensive side of the ball, ton of turnover, very young secondary. We need Mansour Delane to be out there and working very early. I think he had a physical today after getting banged up during OTAs. But, yeah, a lot of new faces. I think it's either the youngest or second youngest roster in the NFL, or at least defensively speaking, one of the youngest rosters in the NFL.
When you mention a lot of those new faces, does that worry you? Because it worries me when it comes to the defensive line and their DN situation. If something happens to George Karlaftis, and let me knock on wood, you got FAU who has 3 sacks. You have Ashton Gelati who has 1.5 sacks. You got R. Mason Thomas, who is a second-round pick who's never played in the NFL before. A lot of people are touting the depth, and they definitely have names. They don't have any production when it comes to their depth, when it comes to the defensive line.
No, not really, and that's with FAU missing all last year with the hamstring injury on top of that. So, yeah, when I'm looking at the position groups, I would not be surprised, and maybe I'm even a little hopeful they add a veteran body to the defensive end room. It doesn't have to be a huge splash signing. I mean, I don't know what Jadeveon Clowney would cost, but just somebody in there that could rotate in. Obviously, we'll see the pads come on, and we'll look at Gelati taking that step up in year 2, which we hope he can. You've got R. Mason Thomas, predominantly the speed rusher, but, yeah, the youthful secondary, I'm actually just expecting growing pains early, blown coverage and stuff like that. Get it out of the way early. But because of that, I think the D-line has a bit of a burden to bear, and it might have to just be carried by the massively, in my opinion, upgraded interior. So you've got questions on the exterior after Karlaftis, but I feel a lot better about the defensive tackle room this year than at this time last year.
Yeah, and maybe this is just the sports talk radio host in me that it's just like hard not to find things to worry about. But this kind of reminds me of maybe 2-3 years ago. I think we all knew that their wide receiver room was a little bit light. And then week 4, week 5, we started clamoring for them to trade for DeAndre Hopkins because we knew they didn't have enough. I just sit here and I look at their defensive line. I fear when we get to week 4, week 5, week 6, we're going to look at their defensive line and we're going to wonder why they didn't spend a little bit more money in free agency to go get a Jadeveon Clowney, to try to steal Cam Jordan away, maybe go pick up a Von Miller, to just get somebody with some proven juice of being able to get to the other team's quarterback.
No, I agree with you, and there's still a little time. They brought in Carlos Dunlap a few years ago, first couple weeks of training camp, so maybe they'll do it. Maybe they'll wait, but I do agree with you. There's concerns there on the depth of the D-line. I mean, if anything happened, God forbid, to somebody you just mentioned, George Karlaftis or whatever, there's going to be a lot of question marks there. So I'm 100% down with you. There's obviously concerns, and that's like even the linebacker room. I don't think we talk about it a ton, but Leo Chanel's gone. He didn't play as many snaps as Drew Tranquil or Nick Bolton, but his role is even hard to replace based on how they used him on defense.
Right now, we're talking to Cole DeRoos. He is with How About Those Chiefs. Happy to be talking football with him. We're having some of my favorite content creators on as we are getting you ready for the start of the season. Let's talk about the wide receiver room. On a scale from 1 to 10, where's your trust level in Rashee Rice heading into the season?
Ooh, I'm gonna go with like a 6.5 to a 7. But I just think he's going to be fine. Obviously, it's an if. The injury 2 years ago was a fluke thing. He was suspended last year. My confidence level, I don't really know what to expect from him out the gate with the knee cleanup procedure. They said he's looking good. Mahomes has been throwing with him. He should be a full go very early on come camp. And if he can stay healthy, I know I'm saying if here, it's the caveat with Rice right now, but if he can stay healthy, I do think he leads the room in production, whether that's a hard bar or a hard task to reach or not based on the state of this room, I don't know. But I feel somewhat confident in Rice, especially if nothing's going to come from him violating probation earlier on this offseason.
The analogy I'll use for Rashee Rice is I just think he needs another hit single, because it wasn't that long ago in the first 4 games of the season, Rashee Rice got off to a hot start. And people in Chiefs Kingdom were talking about him being a top 10 wide receiver in the league. It just feels like it's been a while since there's been good news with Rashee Rice. You need a 7-catch, 102-yard, 1 touchdown Chiefs win. Chiefs fans need something they could feel good about with Rice, and it's been a while since that's happened.
No, I agree. Stock is definitely down on him on average with the fan base because of, just the repeated stuff off the field. I also think last year, he's coming off the 6-game suspension, but also almost missed the year prior fully due to injury. I think there's some rust involved. Hopefully the upgraded wide receivers coach and Chad O'Shea, EB back, hopefully they bring out the best in these guys. And then they say the contract year is undefeated, so hopefully for Rice that is definitely the case this season.
Right now, we're talking to Cole DeRoos here. He's with How About Those Chiefs. What I've really tried to stress with Rashee Rice, and now I feel I'm one of the Rashee Rice defenders. That's a very dark place to be. If he can just copy what he did last season, He had 53 catches for 571 yards and 5 touchdowns. That's basically what Chris Olave did last season for the New Orleans Saints. I'm not asking Rashee Rice to get better. Like, that's what you're asking Xavier Worthy to do. That's what you're asking Tyquan Thornton to do. You're asking Rashee Rice, can you just do in the first and second half what you did last year? And if you do that, somebody's going to give you a decent amount of money in 2027.
Yeah, his stock's low. He's got to bounce back, but you're right. You multiply his production last year and essentially half a season by 2, it's 1,200 yards and about 10 touchdowns. And a lot of this is the debate is Rice a true wide receiver one? And maybe not. But from a production standpoint and how he's used in the Chiefs offense in the quick pass game, yards after the catch, kind of let him feast. If you would take that yards after the catch that he had last year and double it, just based on production, he would have led the NFL among all receivers in YAC. So he's got positives to his game, got to eliminate the drops, and then just be available, hopefully, and healthy for the full season. And I do think he leads the room in production once all is said and done. 1,000 yards feels like the floor if he can be out there for 17 games.
I've talked about this a lot on my show, and I'm curious on your streams if you've discussed it or not. The thing that encourages me the most about this team heading into it is the last few years, they have been playing offense with one arm tied behind their back. You've got to be able to run the football. And the Chiefs, to me, got in a mindset of, we can run the football. Look, we went to the Super Bowl with Damian Williams. Look, we went to the Super Bowl with this guy. We don't need to spend a lot of resources. And the league mindset was changing. Teams were starting to invest in running backs. Teams were starting to spend big money on second contracts. And I think the Chiefs were a couple years behind the trend. Now they're in line with everybody else. I think the amount of pressure that's going to take off Mahomes, the amount of pressure it's going to take off their offense, they got a chance to be dynamic again. They got a chance to be explosive again because the person who is going to touch the ball most in their offense from a skill position standpoint is a 25-year-old in his prime running back.
Yeah, and that's what Mahomes said today during his presser. It's being able to take what defenses are giving him in the quick game, hitting deep shots as he's able at a higher level, giving his guys chances, and then letting K9 feast, and they can get back to being a dynamic offense. I definitely agree with you. They've needed this for a long time, and it's not even just how much they're going to run the ball. It's the offset of that or the extension of that, the quick passes, and even using Kenneth Walker and whoever else. If it's Imari DeMercado, Emmett Johnson in the pass game, think of how effective Jerick McKinnon was in 2022 when Mahomes threw for 5,200 yards, won league and Super Bowl MVP. So I do agree with you. I think it's going to open things up for the offense, hopefully, optimistically, at a huge level in the sense of that you can afford to run back a similar wide receiver room and tight end room, but it takes pressure off of everybody else and just kind of helps open up the entire offense.
Which group do you have more questions for heading into the season? Is it the pass rush or the cornerbacks?
Pass rush or corner? Oh, man. Probably the cornerback room only because, well, I don't know. I think you could probably make an argument for either of them, but the cornerback room's just so new with Delane. Obviously, Snead's back. He's been away for a couple of years. We don't know what we have in him. They're going to load manage that knee already starting at training camp. But Noel Williams, year 2, and that's one of your most experienced corners, and then Christian Fulton, who spent most of last year injured. However, the slot corner position, I might be talking myself out of this argument already. The slot corner position should be in a better place with Shamari Connor not being there, whether it's Jaden Kennedy, Cater Kohu, Chris Roland Wallace. So maybe it is the pass rush after all is said and done due to really the lack of depth and just the unknowns in that room, which you could kind of make a case with the wide receiver room too. Outside of the top 3, there's a lot of unproven guys.
I'll go rapid fire here for these last 3 questions. Question number 1 is, which team do you think should be considered to be the favorite in the AFC West?
The AFC West, I think the Chiefs are per the betting odds, but
slight favorites, real slight favorites.
If you want to say the Broncos, I'm not even going to fault you there, and I think it's going to be a somewhat close 3-legged race, so I'm not answering it directly, but it could be Denver. Chiefs would be right behind.
If you had to make a power ranking just for the AFC, who would be number 1 on your power ranking in the AFC?
In the entire AFC?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, in the entire NFL, it's the Rams and not close. That's NFC. AFC, man. I just don't know. I don't know what I feel about the Patriots right now, even though they made that deep run. I mean, Denver's going to be up there. Buffalo. I mean, your guess is as good as mine. I feel like it's a bit more wide open, to be honest, than previous years.
Yeah, I mean, this is the first time I think you could say in maybe the last 15 years in which that's the feeling heading into it. It either was the Patriots every single year or the Chiefs for the last 7-8 years. Going into it, you're right. Your guess is just as good as mine. I would put Denver at the top of my power ranking, but I think there's like 6 possible answers.
Yeah, I think that's why it's a weird one and why maybe the Chiefs can take advantage of this, whether or not they win the West. If you can just sneak in, get into the dance. I mean, we saw it last year with Buffalo. We thought the Bills there were shoo-ins to hopefully get to the Super Bowl for Bills fans, obviously, but you have 5 turnovers in one game. It didn't happen. I already knew whoever was winning the AFC was probably losing to the Rams or the Seahawks. So will the landscape of the AFC play out similarly in similar fashion? And if so, can the Chiefs take advantage of it if they can stay healthy, win some of these one-score games, and get back to the dance?
If I told you that one of these players makes the Pro Bowl this year, would you pick Xavier Worthy or George Karlaftis?
Oh man. Let's go Xavier Worthy.
That is my guy, Cole DeRoos, joining us on the show today. He is with How About Those Chiefs. Cole, tell people how they can find out more about you.
Yeah, heck yeah. Carrington, thanks for having me on as always. You've been awesome since I was just a little guy on YouTube. But yeah, How About Those Chiefs on YouTube or really anywhere, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. I guess people kind of consume all over now. So, yeah, Chiefs takes there and try to shoot as straight as I can right down the middle.
Absolutely. That's my guy, Cole DeRoos, joining us on the show. Next time you're on YouTube, please subscribe to How About Those Chiefs. Cole, great stuff, man. We'll catch up with you down the line.
Carrington, thanks, man.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you
That's Cole DeRoos joining us on the show today. Always happy to catch up with him and get his thoughts. Maybe I have been too much of a Rashee Rice apologist. And I don't want to be that. Like, that's not who I want to be. I don't feel good about that. But I do strongly believe this. I think Rashee Rice just needs another hit single for you guys to get back on board. It's a little bit slow right now. If he was a director, your last couple of movies, stinkers. It started off all right. You know, we had a couple of good movies early on. You're like, all right, hey, I want to see a little bit more from this director. Next thing you know, them last couple of films, they've been box office bombs. I know you guys. The text line's pretty pessimistic right now about Rashee Rice, and I can't tell you that you shouldn't be pessimistic, but I know you guys. Let Rashee Rice have a good month of September and let him start playing well and being healthy and making big plays. You'll be back. I think if there's any player on the team that could desperately use to just get off to a good start and to get the conversation off of an injury, to get the conversation off the field, and just get back to playing ball and playing it at a high level, that player is Rashee Rice. I don't want to paint you guys. Like, I think at his best, you guys are probably higher on Rashee Rice than I am. But at the floor, I think I'm way higher than you guys. I'm not even asking him to get better. Like, some of the conversation about Xavier Worthy is, do you think Xavier Worthy can take the next step? And can he turn things around? You don't really need Rashee Rice to turn things around. Can he just be exactly what he was last year for the entire season? If he can be that, you got something. Last year, Rashee Rice, in 8 games, had almost 600 yards and 5 touchdowns and averaged around 72 yards per game. If you got that consistently from Rashee Rice, and you know he's going to have a couple of big games that end up a 7-catch, 100 in, if he could end up having a couple of those and sprinkling them in there, the tone and tenor around Rashee Rice would change drastically. But I understand. He's been handing you his last couple of report cards. They got F's on them. It's just kind of hard to believe until you prove it, until you showcase it on the field. So I certainly understand why you guys feel the way that you feel about Rashee Rice. All right, Jason, you are filling in for my guy, Rob Brent. We got to pay some bills here. We got to shout out Jungle Law. Hit it. All right, we're waiting. Do you got the read? You had one job today. You don't got the Jungle Law read. You about to get me in trouble.
You said you were going to do it.
You never gave it to me. I can't read nothing you don't give to me.
My fault. I'll go get it.
All right, my bad. I thought you was ready for the jungle law. I passed it to you. Ball went out of bounds. Let's talk about LeBron James. LeBron James, he has made a decision. LeBron is going to play for the Philadelphia 76ers. Now, let me tell you, I am surprised that this is the outcome of this. I had absolutely no inside information, but I felt LeBron was going to take the legacy route. The end of the story, the perfect end to the story, is LeBron going to play for the Cleveland Cavaliers. He started his career in Cleveland as a teenager. He left Cleveland in the most controversial free agent decision in the history of American sports. He then came back. They won a championship, and he fulfills the prophecy of what he was supposed to be. If LeBron makes the decision to go back to Cleveland, I'm going to play my last couple of years here, he would have been an attraction. Come see LeBron in Cleveland, see his final game, get the love from the fans. This is where I give LeBron a lot of credit, and I understand if you're not giving him credit for that. But LeBron, for the duration of his career, has always operated, I'm trying to win a championship. This decision is in line with how he has handled his entire career. When he made the decision to leave Cleveland the first time, he aligned himself with the team that gave him the best chance to win a championship. When he went back, and it was, wait, I think they're going to have Kyrie, LeBron, and Kevin Love on their team. That team can win a championship together. He aligned the cards in a way. When he went to the Los Angeles Lakers, they instantly started to make a play to try to get Anthony Davis to be their center, and they won a championship, kind of. Now, as he is sitting here, and he said this, his final decision as an NBA player, what team he's going to play for, there was only one team that gave him a chance to win a ring. Cleveland is not winning a championship with LeBron James, James Harden, and Donovan Mitchell. The Golden State Warriors with Draymond Green, Steph Curry, and LeBron at 37 plus years old, you are not winning a championship in a young man's league. The Miami Heat, nobody on their team can shoot. There was only one team realistically that gave you a true opportunity to win a championship. With Tyrese Maxey and VJ Edgecombe, the addition of Jaylen Brown, you've got Joel Embiid, who's one of the top bigs in the NBA. There was only one team that gave you a chance to win a championship, and that's ultimately the team that he joined, the Philadelphia 76ers. He made the most interesting basketball decision that he could. If he had went to Cleveland, it would not have been an interesting basketball decision. It would have been waiting to the end. Now, Philadelphia is a story. They are possibly the biggest contenders to the New York Knicks in the Eastern Conference. They got a chance to win a championship. I think he still moves the needle that much, even at 42 years old. So from a sports talk host perspective, as a fan of the NBA, LeBron made my life so much easier by joining them. I never thought I would cheer for the Philadelphia 76ers, but I go where LeBron goes. LeBron could have went to Turkey. I would have been over there. I'd have been cheering for the Euro League. I would have been watching the Memphis Grizzlies if that's where LeBron wanted to go. Now I'm cheering for the Philadelphia 76ers. I've never been more proud. All right, Jason, let's shout out Jungle Law.
Your workday is over.
Oh, yeah.
You're headed home, and now you're stuck in traffic. Time to get caught up on the biggest stories in Kansas City and around the country with CDOT and Rob. It's time for The Hits. Number 1.
The hits are brought to you by Jungle Law. Call the lawman at Jungle Law 816-816-9111. If you've been injured in a motor vehicle accident, it's time to call the lawman. And watch the lawman get roasted for a good cause Saturday, August 1st at the historic Uptown Theater. Thank you, Carrington.
Oh, of course. No, thank you. I appreciate you. Let me tell you guys, we've had some big-time interviews on this show. There has never been an interview that I'm more excited about than on Monday at 4:15. Jungle Law will be in studio, and I've been told that he is bringing a monkey. Now, I don't know what kind of monkey this is. I don't know how big the monkey is. I have no information. I'm serious. I have no information. All I do know is Jungle Law will be on this show. We are asking law questions We're asking, how did you become Jungle Law? I have so many questions to ask him. I might open up the phone lines and let you ask him a question. You riding dirty right now? Hey, we might need to bring Jungle Law in to help you with your situation. I'm so excited. Just a couple more sleeps. We're off today at 4:30 for the Kansas City Royals. Who are the Royals even playing right now? I don't know who they're playing.
Detroit.
They're playing the Tigers. Oh, okay. I know when they're at home. When they're on the road, this kind of out of sight, out of mind, especially with football. Like, I don't know. I don't know who they're playing. All right. Before we get out of here, I know the music is going to come here soon enough. I would highly encourage you. You can fade the music out, Jason. I would highly encourage you guys, if you haven't, I would highly encourage you to go on social media and listen to Patrick Mahomes' press conference earlier today. It is one of the best media availabilities that Patrick Mahomes has ever had in the entirety of his career. Every decision that they have been making has been made with the idea that Patrick Mahomes is going to participate in week 1. You cannot listen to that and think that Patrick Mahomes is not going to be healthy and available for the very, very beginning of the season. I think it is very, very important. If you are the Kansas City Chiefs, you have to understand. You have to make life easier for Patrick Mahomes. For the last couple of seasons, their philosophy, in my opinion, has been... Hit the music, Jason. Thank you. My apology. Look, I was ready. I knew it was coming soon. I knew it. Their philosophy has been, Pat, go. That's been their philosophy. It cannot be that this year. You need to rely on the run game. You need to get the ball out of his hands quickly. You need to live to play another down if you are Patrick Mahomes. I'm very intrigued to see how their offense evolves this season with the changes with their quarterback. My name is Carrington Harrison. Jason, thanks a lot for all your help today. Rob will be back on Monday. Jungle Law will be here on Monday. We'll catch you guys. Take care. It's The Drive.
Listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
America is turning 250 this year, and Circus Sports is celebrating by offering all users in Missouri $250. Dane Hughes here, and for everyone in Missouri, all you have to do is deposit $250 on your Circus Sports app. Then play through that deposit. Once you do, Circus Sports will reward you with $250